to the stage and conditions, and you get more comfortable with the situation, especially if you have rookies in your team.
Yo,
I think.
halo semuanya. Kali ini
they
kita
have
akan
more-
nobar
it's a give and take, right? We have more footage to review, but I think they
Grand
they
Final,
might be a little more
Final
comfortable, more relaxed.
PCT
That's something
Pacific
we're just going to do right
PRX versus Genji ya.
젠지가
Kita
엑스
tonton
감독이
ya.
생각했을 때
Let's go.
한 15세트를 한 것 같은데 페이퍼렉스 같은
Let's
경우에는
go.
5세트밖에 치르지 않았다고
I'm
얘기를
rooting
하는데요.
for
이
PRX.
젠지 입장에서는 또 팀에 신인이 있기
Let's
때문에
go, bro.
이렇게 경기를 많이 치르는 게 좀 팀의 손이 풀리는데 그리고 몸이 풀리는데 도움이 많이 됐을 것 같다고 얘기를 하면서 하지만 페이퍼렉스는 또 한편으로는 젠지에 관한 데이터가 많기 때문에 좀 각자의 장단점이 있는 것 같다고 얘기를 합니다. 그래도 오늘 젠지가 좀 많이 몸이 풀리고 선수들도 경험을 토대로 좀 자신감을 얻은 것 같아서 오늘 재밌는 경기가 펼쳐질 거라고 예상하는데요. Well, they took down DRX, definitely a force to be reckoned with. What was your utmost priority when you were preparing for today? 오늘 그러면 젠지가 상당히 위협적인 모습을 보여줄 거라고 예측하실 것 같은데
오케이.
경기 준비하면서 특별히 신경 썼던 점이 있을까요?
I think we were
Gua
just trying to review the game that they played against us and see how they
window
were playing.
capture.
That was the one that we drew the most. That's the one we reviewed the most
Ini
basically.
dia.
I think our most priority would be to make sure that we start off well. We haven't been starting off very well in this tournament at all, and we know that against a team that's
Okay.
as confident as them and has as much time
Look.
to like get used to the stage, we need a strong start.
Scam gue hilang.
15 maps, that's a lot though. 젠지가 그동안 해왔던 경기를 분석하는 것에 집중을 했다고 하고요. 오늘 페이퍼렉스에게 중요한 점은 좀 시작부터 빠르게 흐름을 가져오는 거라고 얘기를 합니다. 특히나 젠지가 현재까지 몸도 많이 풀렸고 또 이런 경기를 치르는데 너무 익숙해져 있기 때문에 그런 흐름에 휘둘리지 않기 위해서 페이퍼렉스는 좀 이전 경기들과는 다르게 빠르게 흐름을 잡는 게 중요할 것이라고 얘기를 하는데요. Lastly, now more generally though, coming into this year, there were a lot of questions around whether PaperX can still be the #1 team of Pacific even without Geng. Now we're about to see that today, but
Of
judging from
course,
how the team has
PRX
performed so
can,
far,
bro.
would you say you've answered some of those questions? 올해 찡 선수의 부재로 많은 분들이 좀 페이퍼렉스가 퍼시픽의 왕자를 지켜낼 수 있을까에 대해서 많은 질문을 던지셨습니다. 이런 우려의 목소리가 있었는데 여태까지 팀의 경기력을 보면 좀 찡 선수의 빈자리를 완벽하게 메꿨다고 볼 수 있을까요?
I think it's probably not fair to judge because we've only played 2 games and both of them, I'm playing with the same team again, you know. So and 11 people in our league. I think if we want to be the #1 team, we need to win like the majority of the games, you know. And then so I hope that I hope that I don't know. not that yet. We're gonna prove it. We're proving it again.
아직은 조금 대답하기 이른 것 같다고 얘기를 하십니다. 왜냐하면 이제 또 경기를 많이 치르지 않았던 데다가 젠지와의 리매치를 치르기 때문에 또 같은 팀을 2번 만나는 것이기 때문에 아직까지 뭔가 찡 선수의 빈자리가 완벽하게 메꿔졌다고 단언할 수는 없지만 그래도 이제 리그가 계속될수록 좀
Siapa di sini tidak menyangka di RX bakal tidak lolos guys ya.
그래서야 퍼시픽의 왕자를 지켜낼 수 있다고 얘기할 수 있습니다.
kalah dengan Genji 2-0 lagi ya.
Well, thank you coaches for the interview. Have a good game. Good luck to you both and over to you, Victoria. 이렇게 해서 양 팀의 감독님들 만나봤고요. 이어서 분석 데스크 함께 만나보시죠.
Thank you so much, Jen and coaches. You know, she asked Solo what kind of strategies they would be using against Paper X. I was thinking maybe Solo was going to teach the rest of his team the Lakia move, where you jump over, you Mario jump,
you jump over the
over
showstopper.
raid. Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I would
Just
teach.
like, whoa, whoops, sorry, I'm good.
Monyet's coming. Like that, just jump over it. Mario jump it. Now it's a really interesting interview. We mentioned this a bit yesterday. Alex said in his interview before that he looks up to Solo, Termi, and Bile, even the previous coach of Gen G. They used to be ex-teammates back then, and when Alex was a younger player, he used to study everything they did. So I imagine he's going to be studying everything that they've been doing and trying to get in the mind of Solo because Solo's obviously figured something out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, Solo seems to have found a good balance with this team of some level of kind of that static, disciplined Korean style, some good executes, but they seem a little more free-flowing as well. Like, there's a lot of moments where it seems like they're pretty good off the cuff, and that's maybe just because, you know, they haven't had that much time with Solo yet, and they have to kind of rely on their own individual skill and those kind of things. But when it gets messy, so far, Genji has been really, really good, and it's been on the backs of players like Texture, like Keran. Laki has had a couple great clutch moments as well. So, you know, these players have all been there, done that for the most part, except for a couple new ones. And therefore, you can kind of get down and dirty with that Paper X style, and I think they're going to hang very, very well, and that's something that Paper X has to be concerned about.
Yeah, I think they do. Now, just when we were looking at our talent predictions, Kilio said this, like, nothing has happened the way it should have happened, and I completely agree a lot of our predictions. We're actually, you know, there were serious predictions, and a lot of teams have surprised us, and this is actually very different right now. Today's prediction, we're actually split between Paper X and Genji, and this is very different than the very first time these two teams faced up.
Yeah, it definitely does not feel the same way. It
atau
feels like
Vitality
anything can happen right now because we
Vitality
can do
kali
all
ya.
of our
1, 2,
analysis.
3,
We can
4.
base all of our predictions based off of games that we've
Oh,
seen before in the
Heretic udah
past.
ternyata.
But once you get down into that server,
Tim Heretic,
once you
guys.
get on that stage, playing with, you know, a whole crowd watching you, feeling
Oke, ini Fnatic udah pasti ya. Ini Fnatic sama Vitality kayaknya menurut
everything
gua.
is different, and I think Solo had a really good point about Karon's confidence as well. So, you know,
Ya kayaknya Fnatic sama Vitality, ini Navi sama sama Liquid mungkin, sama tim Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all don't know. This is an
Poi
even
bisa
split.
saja.
I do want to chat with you on your prediction for Genji
Starso,
after this, but I hear
Grubinho,
the
Camo,
players are
Shadow,
ready to
sama
enter the
Seidos.
stage. So let's see who's going to take their shot
Kayak
a bit
Liquid
closer to
sih.
Champions qualifications. Is it going to be Genji or
Liquid
Paper
kali
Rex?
guys ya. Ini belum gue nyalain, nyalain dulu biar terang ya nggak sih? Terang banget ya, baik ini ya. Belakang gue ya. Jadi kayak putih banget guys. Putih kayak terang banget. Gua atur ininya dulu deh. White balance di salah.
Trying to apply some pressure, Buzz scoped in, pushing over towards Tree, and the
100.
falling is looking for it, and he's got it! This is something... Committed position now.
Nah ini kan yang kedua kan ntar bakal main dulu ya di play-in sini ya. Berarti ini antara Food apa Carmen
Hello
ya?
guys, my name is Jason, aka Forsaken, and I play for
Carmen. Food sih kayaknya kalau gua, kayaknya Food sih. Food, Liquid, atau Vitality, dan yang bakal lolos ke sini kayaknya Vitality.
Round is really important
Kayak Vitality guys.
And we just lost because he just diffused with the 200 IQ always W gaming, so I think it doesn't matter for us.
23 sama 4.
Yeah, I mean for Genji, I think they're looking really strong with the new member. The player that I watch out for the most in Genji is Texture. Because he play really well and he show us that his duelist is really crazy. I mean, like on fire. So, yeah. Even though we play small number of games, but we reach grand final means we still one of the strongest team in Pacific. I'm really excited for Master Setter. I'm really excited for what we can show to you guys in Madrid, and I hope you guys just keep supporting Paper X all the time until we can bring trophy for this year.
Yes, let's go bring the trophy, Paper X. Amerika sudah pasti tebakan gua ada load, NRG, EG kan udah ganti ya. Load, NRG, Leviathan kali ya. Load, NRG, oh EG guys, EG masih menang guys 2-0. 1 ini menang deh.
썸띵 선수가 가장 견제되는 것 같고 항상 썸띵 선수의 플레이를 보고 있으면은 강타밖에 나오지 않아서 썸띵 선수만 조심한다면 저희가 충분히 이길 거라고 생각합니다.
Superman apa sama Jogemo ya masih DG yang stay Jogemo ya.
이기게 되면 킥오프 우승에다가 그리고 1시드로
Oke, berarti yang masuk ke ini kan ini udah pasti nih EG. Dari sini sepertinya gue tebak yang bakal ini ya Cloud9. Cloud9 di sini mungkin Leviathan kali ya. atau Sentinel. Menurut gue sih kayak Leviathan guys yang menang guys. Leviathan tuh ada King, ada Mazino, Aspas, Tech sama Kom ya. Kalau Sentinel nggak tahu ya, kayak lagi struggle gitu. Cuman pas preseason ini sih, ini udah mulai guys. Pas preseason sih gokil sih Sentinel, nggak tahu kayak Leviathan deh. Sama di sini mungkin kayaknya G2 kali ya, nggak tahu lah guys ya. Kita tonton saja sudah bermain. Tuh, kok cuma berdua? Mana sisanya? Oh, itu dia. Tinggalan. Nah, HP gue mati nih. Enggak. Oh, jadi muterin ininya dulu ya, muterin panggung buat tos-tosan nama fans. Tapi ini sebenarnya nih VCT Pacific yang udah gedenya belum sih guys? Maksudnya yang kayak tahun lalu gitu, yang udah besar-besarannya. Kalau kayak di sini stage-nya masih kayak stage biasa aja nggak sih? Maksudnya nggak kayak yang semegah sebelumnya. Cuman ini keren juga sih.
A Royal Rotor challenger in the making. Karon, the pillar of Genji Meteor, leading the team there. IGL and Captain Munchkin, the highlight maker Lakia, and the ace up their sleeve, Texture. Please welcome.
Ntar kita lihat deh, gua kemarin lihat ada beberapa VCT Pacific ya. Ada. Ntar gue bakal ngapasin dulu facecam gue di tempat yang pas. Ada yang komen. Halo bang, halo, aku tidak menyangka bang. Anjay, ada yang komen ternyata, gue kira gak ada yang nonton, kocak. Sabar ya, saya tidak bisa membaca komen. Coach Alex. Kedua tim terlihat sangat confident ya. Dan kedua tim terlihat senyum-senyum. Gue sambil nyerang COC nih guys. Ayo. Waduh, gak ada yang masuk kah?
Alright, as we have both teams here, we'll begin.
As Paper X and Gen G go through their map picks, one can't help but wonder about Breeze, because that was the first map to kick things off between these two teams last time, and it was really close.
Waduh, nggak ada yang masuk ke dalam ini untuk menyerang grup gua.
Playing that same map again, but then again, after seeing everything played out, you know, we've seen Gen G's improvements all across the board. Now we're starting to think, like, maybe you want to watch out for what Gen G has in store. Like, maybe you want to ban out something that they're good at, like an icebox, maybe?
Yeah, I think you've got three tough choices here as Paper Rex, where you're going to have to fall into a map that you're not comfortable with, whether it be Icebox, Breeze, or Bind, right? Like, one of those three is going to come through. They haven't played Bind yet, so kind of curious if that's something that Gen G is going to lean into. They were able to get over DRX. It was an overtime, a map that DRX has widely been very good on Bind. You know, talked about it yesterday, where obviously DRX beat Fnatic on Bind at Champs last year. Again, slightly different roster, but it is what it is. So my eyes are really on what does Gen G not want to play? Sunset. This makes total sense to me.
Oh, yeah.
Paper X is just too good on this map right now. They've got so much control with that Sage Wall. I don't think they were able to dial up an answer in time.
Yeah, they were really busy this kickoff, I would say.
Just a bit.
They didn't have much time to
Wait. Bisa 100% kah? Wah, bisa 100% guys ternyata guys.
And it happens on Ascent as well. So interestingly enough, that Gen G picks
Menang
it
guys,
against Paper
100%
X
guys.
because that was the map that Paper X had a slightly better time against T1 on. With Forsaken
100% guys.
A little bit.
Wih, anjay gue kira gagal.
I mean, it's interesting. Both teams kind of maybe leading into the maps I didn't expect initially. So Gen G, they lost to Paper X on this the first time around. What have they been?
Ascent Split Lotus PRX pasti akan win Bind.
Meteor and Munchkin lurking around the
Oh
map.
betul, decider mapnya berarti adalah Breeze.
Alright, and then leaving Breeze for the last one. Bind. Paper X hasn't shown their Bind in the longest time, but we also did see how Gen G counters DRX's Yoru pick on Bind, which again is something that Paper X could do, but then again, you never know. Last year they suddenly picked out Arena, so
I think we might see ISO there.
Oh, ISO!
Look, there's like 4 agents Forsaken hasn't played yet. Deadlock.
No, Coach Alex tidak ada yang nemenin lagi, biasanya si JRX yang nemenin ya. Tahun kemarin guys. Ya sudahlah. Si JRX dan Geng.
Here we go into Ascent.
Yeah.
Classic compositions.
Yep.
Paper X playing the same thing that they did yesterday against T1. Now, the thing about this composition for Paper X, though, is that we need every single player to pop off, right? And while Monyet did have some great entries, stats-wise, it wasn't quite up there with the rest of the team. But again, it doesn't really matter if Something and Monyet are working in tandem to secure a lot of these sites. It's just I'm more worried about what Gen G has prepared, because the way that they played Ascent against Zeta Division shows that they absolutely knew how to play defense.
Yeah, and I think you're going to have a little bit more ability to adjust to the fast-paced Paper X comp with the KO in there to shut things down.
Well, the Tiger Nation is facing off the Rexes, facing once again to close out the Pacific kickoffs. Taking us through the action is Achilleos and William.
Thank you very much. Yes, here we are, another grand final, but this time a very different face on the other side of the arena. Paper X punching a ticket, as expected by a lot of us, to get to this point, to go to Madrid. But it's not DRX on the other side of the arena. It is a different Korean squad, Gen G, the young up-and-coming challengers, to see if they can take away the throne.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, not entirely unfamiliar faces, right? We've got head coach Solo and Locky on that side. They have succeeded in D3 and DRS before, but this squad, a lot of people thought they're going to need a lot more time. Of course, the talent is there, but they're going to need to grow into it. They say, no, we want to get all the experience we can in kickoff and go right into Madrid with a strong force.
Jadi ada beberapa VCT ini ya guys.
So it could go either way.
It very well could. I mean, you're talking about getting experience. Gen G have been getting the maximum amount of experience, maximum maps, maximum matches to get to this point. Their ticket to Madrid is punched, but they want to go away as champions.
Ada stage 2 event, ini kick off event itu yang di Madrid. Stage 2 event ini, 1 itu, nih ada Pacific yang ini, sama ada ntar VCT Champion Pacific juga guys. Ini beda lagi. Tuh. Oh berarti ntar main lagi kali ya, tuh. Beda kan?
quite a bit to
Ntar
great
ada
success
sistemnya kayak yang waktu itu yang kayak tahun kemarin nih. Nah, ini kan nggak salah. Bukan kan?
Another difference, of course, Paper X when they went up against T1, it was against Execurate Cypher, and
Bukan,
it
ini
did prove some
poin
trouble
doang,
for
guys.
Monyet's raise, whereas he was kind of getting caught off guard a lot on the entry. It was really the
Ya, udah mau
follow-up
mulai,
trades
guys.
that worked. This
Tonton,
time,
guys.
a little bit more familiarity with the Killjoy setups now on the A site. Looking to just delay that, looking for a retake for Gen G on A.
All right, well, something starting things off hot.
Something sudah dapat satu saja di sini.
That tip of the spear taken out. Meteor as well being tracked over in towards main. The door is going to be broken down. The turret offering up a bit of damage there. Meteor, the classic, swinging out, does a bit to find a
Sambil
bottom.
benerin facecam
Gets the
dulu
one
ya.
tap. Meteor goes down and something finds the second kills. Munchkin will fall.
A bit of a timing mismatch there. I mean, Meteor, he did his best to hold on to main and
Kecilin
even
dikit
popped
kali
the Nanostorm before he went off. As you see,
Segini
a
lah.
lot of damage still quite doable here for Gen G considering the health.
Karen just having to back away. Rotate back around Malakia. And that ever so familiar back gen position this time. No rifle in hand, can't get the win. Will get taken down. She's going to be Divide, the only one here dead on the side of Paper Rex as they take the pistol round.
Now, a lot of this, of course, is Paper X just knowing when to keep up the tempo. As soon as they get that contact, they understand that it has to be weak. They got the first kill. They want to push through. I mean, you know it's the Jet peeking out. Then you catch sight of the Killjoy. You just want to run through and make sure you destroy everything before backup arrives. So it's a matter of Gen G just maybe not expecting the entire force to follow at full tempo speed, full running all the way up mid.
Oh, ini flash kayak nih. Tus.
Cheeky force buys him again. Is Karen, trying to just go for a bit of a tempo TP up. Try to catch somebody off guard, but they swing the corner instantly and he is taken down.
Yeah, we got to keep in mind that this screen right now is really set up to try to disrupt mid. So Gen G trying to wonder if that was the case. No, it's a pass push into A.
Oke, dapat lagi. Oke, dapat lagi. Goodbye.
That Monyet picks up a 3K.
Masa mati Monyet?
Now for potentially the 4 as Meteor goes
Nah,
down to
ini udah
15
mati ini
HP.
pasti.
Jump shot to get him in the head. A 4K for Monyet. I gotta say, this is the hottest start that we've seen from him thus far.
Yes, I mean, we saw it in the win contribution graph as well.
Monyet udah 501 saja ya.
Part of the round wins that Paper X has gotten. That's not to say that he's not necessarily playing his role. We see whenever he's playing this raise, his goal is to just create that space, create those angles, create those trades for his teammates, and no better teammates to have for that other than this squad on Paper X. Of course, always good for that follow-up kill, and now the Forsaken Odin right from round 3.
Lucky as well. Going to be looking to try to utilize that. We'll see who's going to be able to come out on top as they do get ready to spray at each other over there towards B. See a cycle creep up from Mindfreak working his way into B main. Munchkin eating some damage there. Monyet just going to be sitting on the boom bot. No one's got situated there in Wine.
Gets him one step closer to that Thrash. And they could try to bring that back over towards the B side as well. I mean, Paper X, they've already accomplished their mission here in the very beginning of the round. Disrupt A main control. That keeps them guessing on the A side. And now you can shift your focus.
Wah, ketahuan.
Lakia doing the scouting, Meteor doing the killing. Good opening kill.
Forsaken dengan Odin nih.
They look to get themselves on the board in this bonus round.
Odin Forsaken yang sangat mengerikan ini.
Seems like ultimately Paper X do want to end up over here on this B site. Alarm bot giving that early warning here.
Yeah, but without the full 5. Slow down just a bit, trying to set up for the pinch from main.
Prowler, wingman, sent out. Lakia able to find another kill here on the B side. Meteor as well. Nanostorm taking down something. Monyet will fall. He manages to find a second elimination. Spike down. Can be retrieved, but now finds himself in a position where
nge-clutch ini atau Genji
tap on the spike, see if anybody's
yang
close by.
akan menyerbu Monyet.
Yeah, he's more focused on taking down weapons rather than the spike. Now he's going to
get closer. He does have a showstopper online now. But as he swings out behind the box, Munchkin will be able to take him down. So only 2 players lost. Gen G retained 3 weapons and get themselves on the board.
Yeah, one of those rounds where it doesn't feel so bad for either side. Lakia playing heroics there with the Odin, just making sure that Paper X can't play their classic W gaming style. Meteor with good coverage too, all the way from backside, or rather towards their spawn, able to create that crossfire. Of course, a lot of delay on the Nanostorm, even picking up the kill onto something. Not quite sure what happened there. But this is, I mean, all the way through the paranoia as well, just knowing that you have the crossfire ready to go.
Keeping things nice and calm for the time being, but we saw yesterday just how rowdy Gen G can get on that stage. More wins, I'm sure that we're going to be seeing that energy spiking up. But for now, it's been a slow start for the likes of Texture as well as Charon.
He's over it. Yeah.
Up on the top.
Nah, flash
They didn't quite catch the fact that the Jet had flown right over the Thrash. And this seems to be something that Gen G has kind of read through. Whenever they get that Thrash on any map they use the Gecko, they will use it right off the bat just to get some map control, and then they'll happily rotate to the other side. When you have that updraft, really fake them out.
Still double stacking in this position and Texture, yep.
Dapat lagi kan?
He wasn't on the board, now finds himself with 2 kills. Mind Freak pushing in from 3, how we're going to be able to find 1. Fragment nade coming down, does take up much.
Monyet tiba-tiba sudah di sini. Nice try.
Picking up the 4K to tie things up at 2-2.
All he needed was a bit of setup in this round to get that first kill, and then he gets going. You love to have a duelist like that. I love the setup that Gen G brings against this Thrash. Obviously, we've seen plays like that before, not necessarily against the Thrash, but this is perfect because the Gecko only has the vision through that Thrash ultimate. So once it ends, you're kind of wondering, did that play happen or not? They tried to time the pinch in with a showstopper from Link, but Texture is just ready for it. And he's just playing like he's streaming from home.
And there's the energy we were talking about. Still an investment coming in, though, for Paper Rex. Stingers, this does put a couple of the players quite low on cash.
Yeah, this, I mean, it really has to be considered a bit of a force here on this 5th round. You don't win this one out, you're gonna have to reconsider some of those broken buys in the future.
That 0 point going to be very nicely timed to find pretty much everybody on the side of Paper Rex. 3 players going to be caught on that as they try to push their way through, but through the smoke, Munchkin just going to be able to find Forsaken, not force off the angle fast enough by the Molly. Now spotted here at back Gen. Nade coming out, flash is being sent. Monyet going on the hunt, but doesn't want to push into his own nade too much. Texture swinging out, finding one, dashes forward, catches Monyet over at Gen, and now it's all onto something.
He just won't stop. I mean, he just knows that he's meant to be the one picking up all these frags. Munchkin just buying time, gives him the call that they saw Monyet get into the side, and another 4K for Texture. 8 kills in 2 rounds.
What an unreal catch-up. He saw Monyet topping that chart, and he said, I'll be there. Now he is, 3-2.
Wow.
Gen G in the lead, and it looks like already a timeout call getting ready to come through.
I'm not surprised, especially with the buy that we just had, but Munchkin just spraying through the smoke. I love that because we're seeing this change where teams are trying to get as close as possible into these sites before they start their actual execute. So really denying that possibility. After the first one, he's like, oh yeah, this feels common enough. Just calm down on the 4K.
Time out, Paper Rex.
There we go. Paper Rex, Alex wanting to try to slow this down a little bit, maybe slow the momentum from Texture as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have to consider the impact that timeouts can have outside of the server as well. Sometimes one player is heating up too much. We've seen coaches talk about it time and time again. Alex has showcased it time and time again, even in this tournament, back at the AVL as well, when Side Player was just popping off on that Sunset map, just calls the back-to-back timeouts, really slows down the tempo. Now, Gen G, they've been on the receiving end of this against multiple teams even throughout this kickoff. And given the energy they showed on stage, I don't know if it's going to be enough to cool off the primary duelist in Texture.
I mean, he's just been so consistent. I mean, maybe a handful of times those first couple matches that we were seeing from Gen G where when it did go to that map 3, he and Meteor would slouch a little bit, but the rest of the team was rising to the occasion to kind of try and compensate for that impact. But, I mean, after yesterday, it was just steamroll the whole way through.
Yeah, the fact that they even feel comfortable enough to kind of tell each other that, right? It's just saying, I'm having a tough time this map. Someone please carry us through, and then I'll get right back into it in the next half. Comms like that, you love to hear from a team that had so much trouble finding the right ingredients around themselves as players.
Okay, well, Forsaken bringing that right
Monyet low.
And his Texture does get taken down, 0 point to 9. Sees a bit of that utility.
Ada Odin. Oh, balik Odin, Bang.
Mind Freak still lurking around outside of B main, just tucked away. The drone won't be able to spot him.
This has to be, oh, they don't spot Meteor. This is huge because the pinch might get slowed down by the Killjoy.
Dapat
Forsaken. Alarmbot trigger might have actually
What?
gonna be able to find 2. And after a
2v4
good start,
guys,
Texture getting rid of the tip of
Mind
the
Freak.
spear right off the rip. Suddenly down to Mind Freak and
Mind
Divide.
Freak, dapat 1, dapat 2.
Working some miracles yesterday. If they deliver some more, well, the answer is going to be no. Divide just stuck out here outside of A main.
And this is the trouble that Paper Rex is going to have throughout this match, as Munchkin gets another kill through the smoke once again.
Let's go, Abang.
Go off.
He was just ready for it. He's just ready for a reaction with these pre-fires. I mean, this is where that experience comes in for someone like Munchkin. But Gen G, they're no slouches when it comes down to these 1v1 duels, so PaperX can't just get away with trying to create a distraction one side and then just push as one force step by step into another area. They're going to get craftier. They're going to have the aim to fire back. I mean, Meteor hiding from that Prowler was everything. Just bigging up each other on that team. I mean, some wondered, including myself, if the players would kind of get along even, given the history they have and the egos they might have from the pride that they've built up throughout their careers, but they are getting along just fine.
Main prick. Jangan maju. Main prick pakai Gordon. Jangan.
Oh boy.
Oke, dia seperti melihat.
Don't think they would have spotted him just yet.
Mind Freak still does get tagged, down to 25 HP. He's gonna rotate back around towards Gelato, joining with the rest of the squad, and potentially we'll have to hand off that Guardian to somebody that's a bit sturdier on the HP bar.
Yeah, the anchor here from Karon. The Paranoid buys just enough time for all of backup to arrive.
He does get in, but he's get dizzy, but now he backs away and the kills start flowing.
Yeah.
All they can get so far is just the one kill.
Seperti sangat sulit ya masuki side.
Mind Freak, the player getting tagged up right off the rip by the operator.
Side ini.
Last one standing.
Genji.
He's had some amazing clutches yesterday, but with 25 HP and a Guardian, you have to imagine he has to save for the next 40 seconds, at which point, Gen G, there's nothing stopping him from going on the hunt, especially for Lakia. I mean, toss that Odin to someone else, go and make this Hunter's Fury happen for the next round.
30 seconds left.
Karon could pull a divide. He could just keep peeing forward and try to scout him, but Mind Freak will swing in. Texture will get the shot, and Gen G will continue upward. 5-2 now.
It's impressive how many moments like this that Karon has in his very first VCT tournament. Yeah, he played one event in the offseason at Convergence, but even there, it took a little bit to warm up. Yeah, he had some individual moments, but it was a very short-lived event for the squad of Gen G. Head Coach Solo talks about it, how he thinks, yeah, all these maps that they had to play really benefited someone like Karon, and he is fitting right in onto the stage. He's been starving for an opportunity like this. Now he's taking advantage of it fully. So many 3K highlights throughout kickoff.
Oh.
Kenapa nih?
I was trying to ignore it. Just trying to imagine that it's not actually here. It worked before during this week.
Kenapa nih?
Even PaperX might be in the game, but this isn't like a T-Rex where we're going to
Technical timeout kah?
ignore it and the pause ends up going away.
Ah, yeah,
so it is in
technical
fact going to be a tech pause, much to the chagrin of literally everyone.
Yes, yeah. But we've been able to sort these out a little bit quicker here, so
Siapa
we'll be
kira-kira?
able to get right back into the game. But listen, things like this happen, and what's important at this point is going to be keeping up that energy for the side of Gen G, right? I mean, no matter what the reason is, it happens
Audio
now and
issue.
then. It's part of a real tournament. And for Gen G, it's about keeping that energy up. And for PaperX, it's about not letting the thoughts get to your head, because obviously you can't discuss any of the actual gameplay here during this part of the tech pause.
Well, looks like audio issue. Our old friend rearing its ugly head once more.
All right, well, we'll see if it gets sorted out quick enough. Talk about the match so far, though. 5-2 lead on a comeback from Gen G after losing the pistol round. So far, this is one of those maps that's looking like you got the pistol, but what more did you make of it, right? You got the rounds that you're supposed to get if you win the pistol. Obviously, the pistol won off the back of some nice shots and really fast tempo, as PaperX often does. But then, once the buys came in from Gen G, they just fire right back.
Yeah, it's just incredibly impressive. And again, I mean, for Texture to just kind of start things off, not really be present in those first couple rounds, and then just slingshot his way to the top of the standings. Karon as well was right there with him. This is a scary team, and it's been
Alex, love you maunya lebih something be healthy Susanti.
Real belief in Gen G.
Where is Mind Freak?
The 4-0 start and then the insane fall off at the beginning of Pacific last year. It was just like, oh, okay, this team peaked early.
Yeah.
And there's no hope. Okay, now they're bringing in Solo. He wasn't able to get much done when he was coaching over on Damwon, Lakia. He wasn't able to get through some of the matches that everyone expected that he would win at Ascension.
Yeah.
Is this going to work? They have Karon. Who is this guy? But I mean, they have made their names known.
Yes, and I was part of that group that was doubting this team. I mean, sure, a story of redemption sounds great, but that's all on paper. I felt like maybe all of them had enough chances, and now I'm proven wrong, and I couldn't be happier about it.
PaperX. See if they can get themselves back into this game here in round number 8. Operator, of course, still in the hands of Textures. He is just aggro pushing out. Ooh, goes for the flick. Can't quite get the connection, though. This time, Mind Freak getting away unscathed.
Yeah, but something like that really puts a damper on Paper Rex.
They're going to look to really flush him out of this position.
Are they ready for the Odin backup, though? Prowler comes out.
Prowler coming in, and yep, Lakia not able to find the kill. Gets a good amount of damage out, but otherwise will still be standing. Han going up in towards the window. Cloudburst going to be slapped down. He does get caught, but Karen's going to cover fire here. Back ramp, put up the kills. Mind Freak pushing forward, gets the headshot, opening things up a bit.
Mind Freak mati.
The footsteps, swings out of the smoke, able to find one, but it's quickly traded by
Nice
Divide.
trade tapi, nggak apa-apa.
1v2. Null Command, 2 flashes available here for the side of Munchkin. Divide, though, could reposition if he so chooses.
Yeah, but something is low, and considering that that op might be picked up, Munchkin surely goes for this. I mean, look at the creds and everything, you have to. And if it's Munchkin, there's absolutely a possibility.
Here's more.
The second thrash.
The other thrash, but 0 point. Going out to interrupt, and it does.
Dikit lagi kena.
Time as well.
Stops it and distracts before the dive can come in. Flash sent.
Waiting for a peek out.
Spectator bug there.
Yep.
Pushing forward, trying to flush him out. Swings to the one side, but can't transition back. Munchkin making it damn close, still making it costly, but Paper Rex will be able to break the win streak.
Barely so, though. I mean, yeah, off the back of the thrash, sure, a nice triple swing to take out what they thought was the operator. In fact, it ended up being the Odin and the Sova. But then the thrash, I mean, you get the detain onto the jet, and Karon's just there for backup. What a guy to have as a bodyguard for the side of Texture. And Meteor, I don't mind the timing. He's trying to just make sure Texture can stay alive for just a bit longer. Misses, obviously, the kill just fast enough, but he's dwindling the numbers down for a potential clutch.
Vandal Overdrive enak banget guys.
They start push out mid.
5 ults available here on the side of Gen.G. One already
Not
popped.
satisfying.
Knives are in. Texture.
Tas.
But he mows down too. Something finally able to get the punish to Hunter's Fury as well, crashing in as Lakia hunting for a tag. Doesn't manage to find anything else. But still is a 2-for-1 trade up here for Gen.G.
They don't know about this. Mind Freaks lurk. I mean, surely you have to know. Paper Rex, they've been lurking so much this entire tournament on any map they're on. Munchkin,
I mean, he's just
spotted.
Shoulder to shoulder basically with Munchkin. He was just sat there at top mid. Mind Freak slides his way in towards String.
They are
very well might think
Flash juga
he's
sih.
protected.
Nice flash, aduh flashnya telat tapi. Wah.
Lakia somehow survives, gets the kill, and Gen.G just taking that
Flashnya si ini telat guys. Si something kalau misalkan kena, Davanya nggak mati tuh.
Mind Freak's timing as well. I mean, Mind Freak, I think, waited.
This was
good. We've seen that move time and time again, but the fast 180 from Texture for the anti-flash from his teammate. What a start for the team, and that should be the next timeout coming out right off the bat for Paper Rex.
I mean, we saw this just yesterday, you know, on that opening game, a split. Paper Rex needing to use both timeouts in the first half. And yeah, they went on to win the map, but I mean, it was multiple overtime resets, and it was damn close. This is a very bold attempt here from the side of Alex, but he's just not liking what he's seeing and is expecting to have more success on this attacking side.
And I do appreciate this style of timeout from Alex. Really just, as soon as he has enough to say, he calls for it. You can see he's not stopping, he's not missing a beat here. And oftentimes it brings results. Is it always going to be the safest and wisest way to call timeouts? Maybe not. But if it works for your players, and if you have trust that in a best of series that's going to be a long haul, that you want to correct things as soon as they go wrong, then I don't mind it at all. The real question is Gen.G, their timeouts have been quite successful this tournament as well. I had my doubts on the coordination between Solo and HSK. Of course, Solo joining a bit late into the off-season. But so far, they seem to be on the same page.
Flash apa lagi nih?
Bricks with another weak buy here.
That's Hero Rifle in the hands of Divide.
Kita lihat flashnya.
Sheriff's across the board aside from something. Otherwise, does have that classic, which was putting in some serious work yesterday. Prowler, check forward, lock, yeah. Get caught by this one. Wingman gonna be cleared out.
Davai. Nice recon gila by Lakia.
Down 2. Now that can be an Odin recovered. Meteor taking out the headshots flying. They swing out, but Karon still anchoring here on the side.
Karon is nasty with it.
Forsaken grabs a Phantom. He has the spike in hand. Where does he decide to go? For now, just staying sat here in market. Texture swung around to Alley. And if he tries to push out, he's going to be giving them line of sight.
Yeah, he has all the time in the world, though. Still a full minute, so playing for this mind game to try to get them to search for him first. I like it.
That and waiting for the haunt timing, which he now has back online, but swing around. Karon eventually will find him a 3K. Genji moving up
Nice
7-3. Great effort, still here from the side of Paper X, considering the buy that they
Iko apa
have.
half tadi?
It's looking dangerously close.
Iko
Genji
kayaknya.
have
Pada
proven in this
konser
tournament
kan?
they are the kings of the thrifty.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's how they shut down the entire team of DRX. And Lakia just dwindling down 2 is enough. It slows him down, gives an opportunity for Karen to find these 1v1s. And how many rounds is that where Karen's had a multi-kill? I gotta say, I think probably all of his kills coming from 2 or 3 Ks back-to-back as well.
Keeping pace with Texture. It is effectively a brand new player. BCT, that is always a good sign. However, showing a better sign for Paper X, he takes Texture's head off.
Utuhnya monyet kah?
Hitting the switch, market door now
Yo,
going to be
monyet
shut.
guys.
Something gets taken out by the Nano Swarm.
Wih, mengerikan.
Bit of a brutal kill to be found. Spike trying to jump up there onto the half box. Narrowly avoids getting sprayed down by the Odin through the wall.
Three flank.
Going to be invested.
Kekuatan telepati.
Cut off that alley access, but as we can see, Genji, they're not going anywhere near right now.
This is good news.
Taking turns from it, managing to find one. Munchkin picking up the kill, but Manya
Nice, satu lagi.
finding one, putting some shots there into Karan. Looks like he wants to go for the challenge. He wins it. Takes him down. Suddenly the 2v2, the spike uncovered by this pit. Karan falls. Mindfreak able to find it. The spray coming in, but those tracer rounds just lead Mindfreak to his target. Locky goes down. Paper X looking to rescue this half. Potential 7-5.
Yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate round there for Genji because they had their own lockdown as well. And it looked like most of the team was on board to empty the site for a potential Nightfall. Texture just thinking he could get away with a greedy kill and dash out into market. Fortunately, he gets taken down, and that's an instant trade all the way onto Meteor, and the plan falls apart. But if they can get back up to 8, they should be okay for the second half. Thrash online now, though.
Paper X sekarang lebih milih attack B-nya ya daripada A-nya soalnya dari tadi kalah guys. Terlalu sulit guys masuk ke A.
Rush play outside of A.
Kita ada texture, jangan.
Time though, again, eyes set on B. Lakia, no Odin.
Oh iya, buset, udah ulti lagi.
Does get destroyed to the Thrash, not going to be able to make the jump. Sees connecting, Mania jumping forward.
Buta dia buta. Itu. Kena tali gak sih? Tawan.
Jump across comes in, but he's right in front of Meteor's gun barrel. He's able to take him out. Still getting pushed on. Swing out some shots in the box, connecting there on a Forsaken, whittling him down.
Mati gak sih? Laki aja.
Nice.
Lagi.
Something cleaning up too.
Nice.
You're going to get taken out. Karan will die. Paper X just picking them off one after the other as the rotations come in. They will be able to get this back to 5 1/2.
I feel like Locky and Meteor did everything they possibly could in the entire multiverse to stay alive there at the back of sight.
Bought a lot of time.
Yeah, and yet as the back of rise, it's Paper X who are able to actually just flood the site and then hold all the trade angles, all the crossfire. So Paper X, when chaos comes, they know how to adapt into it. They know how to really thrive in those situations. And I mean, now suddenly a 5-7 half. This is not what Genji thought they'd have going into the second half. Of course, getting 5 in a row, starting with their first buy round.
They still do have that advantage of having both timeouts in the back pocket.
Sure.
But we know how difficult it can be to stop Paper X if they start stringing together those rounds, if they start getting streaky. And even the timeouts might not be enough to really try to slow their roll. Genji going to be looking to come out here with that pistol. Tie up that score line and get that much closer to closing out this first map.
Yeah, and something Genji will have to keep an eye on is, of course, some of these retakes that Paper X has planned with this composition. I mean, so many projectiles, so many different mollies and nades that they can throw out. And on top of that, the toxic screen, if you watch back to their gameplay, the toxic screen really does give a lot of tells on what their retake setup is going to be. So we'll see if Genji is able to keep tabs on that round to round.
For now, just in a wall cutting off mid. Little bit of that catwalk access as well as B main.
Yeah, just trying to really funnel them in to the A site, really, if things go their way for the side of Paper X. And if it is a B hit, still a lot of options to delay, even without something like the Killjoy, just with the fact that you have to go through toxic screen 2-3 times.
Third sent out, Texture pushing down. Spotted in mid so far, and something hanging back avoids that 0 point for the drone over the top. Will be able to spot him. Is he getting ready to come through? And drone should have seen Forsaken as well. Texture.
Enggak, sini rame, sini ramenya, sini.
A site very much open at the moment. So break the window, try to fake somebody going up. And Meteor Just gonna look to hang back, lurk there within tree. Pulls all the way back, usually over to short. So far, I don't believe he's been spotted.
No, they still have the numbers advantage in the site as well, so they're just trying to buy enough time, but Mind Freak.
Great check for Forsaken as well, off screen, getting the shots through the box to be able to take him down. Munchkin now trying to hold the side, Kizzy up over the top, does manage to get the flash out.
Forsaken dapat satu.
Up, swing around the back,
Aduh,
Munchkin
ngawin
able to steady the
Forsaken.
aim, finds a headshot there on a Forsaken, and now something with everything to do. He's been spotted, shock dart, a little bit of a botch there from the side of Lakia. Is the wingman now going out to try to start this defuse. The push forward, something needing to win the fight versus Karon, but he can't quite get it done. Genji will tie up the pistol round count and now move up by 3.
I mean, we know that the devs over at Riot were just waiting for that wingman to finish that defuse just to showcase what Gecko is possible of here at the pro level. Something, of course, someone who's capable of it. But what a great fake sell from Genji, sending both of your initiator and all that utility all the way up through mid. You send the 0 point, you send the drone. Really selling that you want to go for a B pinch. And then it's just the forces barreling through A link. Paper X just bit right onto it. Nothing more than that.
No force ups again. We saw them, going for that force buy, which is uncharacteristic of Paper X overall yesterday, and finding great success with it. This time, just going to be sticking with these classics. One sheriff in the hands of Mind Freak.
And this is a nice play by Paper X, because this is that screen that they often like to use for a retake onto B. They'll pinch in from both main and defender spawn. Try to utilize that toxic screen for a nice pinch. Just trying to sell the fact that they're not here, but no info now. They want to start dwindling it down.
They're swinging out, but Meteor still managing to come up with 2. Despite the fact that he only has a ghost, and he also puts the buy down at 44, Mind Freak at 76. Couldn't ask for much more than that. Your Killjoy player in that position.
Where are you?
Now Spike can get planted.
Toxin screen down.
And if it wasn't for the Sheriff and the Ghost, you have to imagine this is one of those rounds where you just call for the save right away, go down to the Spike, but they're not even in a good position to do that. Looks like they will try to wait for it. Just trying to pick off some early kills, trying to bait them out with the audio.
Seems like Genji just have such a strong read on it. 0 point to go check towards heaven. Now Munchkin.
Oh enggak, mereka nungguin exit kill ya.
Going to be spotting over towards trees. They reopen the door. And as they see nothing, very much assessing it. Everybody's going to be on this side of the map. Mind Freak will be able to take one more down with him.
Trying to bring
this
to Munchkin.
Juggle it over.
Munchkin.
Can he get it? He got it.
He was celebrating for a little bit, so he wasn't paying attention there, but...
Well, I mean, this esports thing doesn't work out, Texture. You can join the circus. Fantastic juggling.
It's things like that where you start to notice that Genji's really in it for the victory. They really want to get this first title in 2024, because little things like that could make or break the snowball towards a map win.
This is, the round where it has to be the turning point, it feels like, here for Paper X. Coming into the bonus. Still so much firepower available to Genji, but Odin now brought into the fold by Forsaken on the opposite side of the map. But once again, Genji just widely able to stray away from the heavy presences. And Defiant Moniette trying to swing out, just that spray comes in, they get whittled away.
That's going to hurt a lot. The paranoia down. You know that you scratched up a lot of members if you were a Genji player. So you know that the A site should be weak overall. Meteor going back to try to just disrupt the default just a bit from Paper X. Make sure they have to spread out once again. Just activates its turret and now returns.
Back out, smoke comes down. Genji just going to be cutting noise and starting to drift away. Wingman not spotting anything. Potentially recoverable here for the side of something, but still considers it to be a great risk, and now it certainly is one.
See if he's wise to this. A little wary of the catwalk push, but not quite down on the grass.
Oh, the timing jumps away.
Munchkin's gonna try to sell a fake. On to B once again.
He's gonna do his damnedest. Moniette in position here.
Munchkin, kucing.
A little bit more.
Just cutting off the backup should be enough here for Munchkin. Oh, he hears a rotate and he calls for them to go to B. What a brilliant call.
Swings out, but he's not ready for Mind Freak, but they actually miss each other. But Mind Freak, he could just be able to shut this down, depending on when he decides to swing out. The time's so very limited, but now He's turning his sights away so the spike can get planted. Monyet jumping forward, and oh, what a shot from Munchkin! Looks for more, he gets the third! Mind Freak now the last one standing on this side of the map. He's gonna come up with 3. Something getting ready to join in, pushing his way in through
Holy
Munchkin
Munchkin!
on his lonesome. Try to clutch it out. Swing onto the corner, he gets the headshot, and they knew where Mind Freak was. Can he read where he is now? Push down, and Texture has it! The clutch coming through. Gen.G now moving up to double digits.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful from Gen.G. You have an incredible call from your IGL who puts himself at risk to not only sell the fake, but you are still looking at the clock to say that we have time to rotate. If I hear them starting to flood back to the A side, then a brilliant triple kill, and then Texture to clutch it on a bonus. This is everything you could hope for. If Gen.G doesn't close this map out, I think these players have plenty to be upset about, because this should pretty much spell the end of it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Munchkin just beautifully serving that one up. Once again, just slowing things down. Spotted now.
Something nice.
Something
Cabut.
a headshot with the Sheriff. Backs his way out. Meteor.
Meteor dapat
Mind Freak on that lurk forward out of B main. Taken as well.
Low pasti bilang low.
He does have a Bulldog and Meteor at 11 HP. Severely disadvantaged here.
Wah, something.
There in the end, but Karen pushing up into bench. Taking down something. Giving that advantage back over to Gen.G as Lakia is here sat outside of Gelato, and this time Monyet not going to be able to win the fight right around that ult orb.
Yeah, they should be able to go over to B. Meteor heard the exit from B main. You got the kill in mid as well, so you know that Forsaken was pretty pressured on the B side.
Great timing from Devi, swinging out right before that ping would come down. Catches Lakia completely off guard. Finds the punish, keeps things close as well as recovering a weapon.
Ayo. Winnable. Meteor low.
Be wise to just tuck in somewhere, make sure that you can cut off the
Wah, mid nih, Munchkin kan Karon sekarang.
30 seconds. He's gonna try to find this right now. Forsaken is not thinking about it.
Oke, nggak jadi winnable. Bisa aja sih. Dapa ini bos, jangan meremehkan Dapa.
Devi on his lonesome. Cover going out. Find a quick pick on the Meteor would bring it into a 1v2. He still holds on to a Paranoia as well as 1 TP.
Yeah, but 3 members, they can watch every single possible entrance. It doesn't matter if the mind games are here or not.
Shadows traveling.
Does he go for a shadow step here? I love that Munchkin enters that smoke right away. Doesn't want to take any risks.
The flash into the back, but now they're very well aware of his position. The swing out.
And
Meteor does remain standing at the end of it. 11 HP and 11 round wins. Gen.G 2 away from taking their map pick of Ascent in dominant fashion.
And if finally an operator comes online for Paper X, but it just might be too late. What Gen.G's been doing here is really just shutting down the possible compositional advantages that Paper X is looking for. I mean, they have so many ways where they could really initiate this attrition of all that utility. And they just have, I mean, Gen.G just has the counters to it. Obviously, this composition, the classic composition I said, it's good for a reason.
Texture up and over, diving his way in towards the B side, but no one there to greet him. For the snake bite, now the free entry coming through. Spike will get planted. And as Meteor plants this, that's also going to give him a lockdown. So many ultimates here for the side of Paper Rex that they're just 1 away from things that they could very well utilize and would love to have to try to get this retake going, but now it's just going to be that tempo lockdown coming through.
You have to flood it.
Wow, sangat rame. Wait, cet. Oke, nggak apa-apa hancur. Wah, ya.
But they've lost the war. Mind Freak something last one standing. The off able to find one. The rush. Right click. Texture takes him down, draws up the weapon, but Karen's already claimed the kill. Gen.G now at map point.
I mean, Texture pretty much asking how big's your mouse pad something, because you ain't flicking for this one. Shuts him down.
Even the high sense not going to save you there.
My gosh. And I think one of the things that might be, I mean, sure, they face against each other in Group C, but one thing that really is keeping Paper X scratching their head is you just haven't seen a Korean squad play for contact like this.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they just greed for these duels, and they're not backing away from it.
The confidence right now is just something that is so dangerous that Paper X has to deal with, but breaking the confidence of Gen.G has proven to be incredibly difficult for every single team that has faced them thus far.
Oh, they
Full
push.
push.
Wow,
3
they want to
players
send a
up
message.
mid.
Trying to take down this pit.
Swing on the corner. Something dead. Pop flash up over the back of the wall. Gets the full catchy and on a Forsaken. Another one in hand. Monyet will be able to find the kill. Showstopper at the ready, spotting Lakia dead. Monyet keeping in this one. And also finding that spike. Texture over around the back. Regains his audio. Dashes away. The Boombot only able to find the kill.
Udah, Monyet.
Meteor recovering fire out in mid. Fights it. And it's a one tap to finish the map. 13-5. Gen G showing up to play.
Getting a confident win on your map pick when they faced off against each other in the groups. They took each other's map and went to that map 3, where PaperX brought out this unconventional no duelist competition Sunset. That's what shut them down, but Gen G comes back and says, now we've got some tape on ya. We've got all the warm-up we need. Even Charon has now gotten used to the stage. And immediately, Coach Alex wanting to make sure he doesn't forget all the things he saw that they need to fix if they want to extend this best of 5 in the finals of this kickoff tournament.
An incredible
Yeah, I was actually pretty worried about this pick, to be honest. I thought, oh man, the PaperX look really good on this map. Like, what are you cooking here? But clearly it's looking great. I mean, it's so many things going right for them. The firepower is not lacking today. It's the same Gen G we've been seeing throughout the entire year. And on top of that, you're getting some of this like mixed style of Gen G. It isn't that standard Korean style, especially with players like Munchkin there, who are just pushing their way through to the spawns of his opponents and just tearing them apart.
That round is like, it's reminiscent of what we saw in PaperX versus EG in that Finals of Champions. You know, these deep lurks that PaperX somehow just doesn't quite expect, especially down mid. And they have the aggression, you know, they got the early contact and they continue to pushing through it. And Texture is someone who, I don't know how he gets those tailwinds. The timing of it, the way he dodges some of these utilities sometimes, it's just too darn good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's a lot of them hanging around spawn area, and that's where PaperX tends to go down. Munchkin with that Guardian tap.
Oh,
on
Monyet. Oh my god.
That sent shivers down my spine. I mean, that was absolutely nasty. And think about the fact that, you know, they were juggling the guns to get that Guardian into play still.
Oh,
and
yeah.
their head is so in the game right now, it's insane. And the other thing is like for PaperX, it's a tough adjustment because T1 plays nothing like this. Like, this is way different. T1 doesn't really take much mid control. They leave it pretty well open. Sometimes Haya's player is there, of course, to try to, you know, use the op or whatever, but for the most part, it's left open, and it is not the case at all for Gen G. They are going to try to punish the weaknesses in your defenses, and they absolutely did it. They like it to a treat.
I mean, the thing that stands out to me the most, if you take a look at the bottom of your screen right now, is the 5-round win streak on the Gen G's defensive half. Because, you know, PaperX wants to start out strong on attack. That's kind of their whole game plan. That's what this composition is about. You got Raze, you got Gecko, you're trying to break things open, especially off of that Dizzy. However, Gen G has clearly figured it out. You know, there were times with that A-split push that PaperX repeatedly tried to pull off. Texture gets an early pick. They are set up. They've stacked up on the site. You have, I can't remember if it was like Munchkin or Lakia, but someone hiding in the corner of A site, just right outside of A main. And they're just preemptively shooting down that Dizzy that gets sent out. So no matter what PaperX throws at them, they always get numbers advantage. They're ready to receive contact, and Gen G just shows that they have that preparation. And apart from that, I mean, yes, MVP is Texture, but can we talk about Karen for a second? There were some of these rounds where he picks up impact frags, just holding Boathouse on B site by himself. 1v2 clutches, 1v-X's, and he just does so much.
He's so confident right now. Solo was saying in his interview, because of all these games that have been happening, in a way, Karen has leveled up, and he's shaken off a lot of the nerves. When you're playing through that many games in 1 week, by the time you get to this one, you're probably super warm, and, you know, nothing's going to throw you at this point.
Yeah, and Alex touched on this in his pre-match interview, where he was saying, like, sometimes it's a blessing and a curse to have to play that many games. Like, on the one hand, your opponents are going to have a lot of tape, and that's where PaperX has to lean into, right? They have to say, we have an idea of what they're going to do. This was different today. This was a Gen G that I haven't quite seen just yet. But also, on the other hand, your opponent's going to be warmed up. They're going to be comfortable on stage, especially with a rookie like Karon there, able to get that experience under his belt, to really understand what it's like to play in front of a crowd, to play in front of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people online as well. So this ability to get Gen G this far with their just determination, their mental grit, things like that are really starting to pay dividends.
Now, I do have to bring up Texture. Paper Thin, you've been a long time believer of the Texture Jet power.
Preach to us.
I'm the preacher.
Yes.
I mean, I'm trying to think of a way to put this because I have been asked many times who I thought the best Jet in Korea was. And mostly I leaned toward Buzz because of his ability to be so stable as an entry fragger. But the thing he was always kind of lacking compared to Texture was his op. Texture is the complete package. He has explosive plays, he has steady plays, he can do a lot of different things well for you, and his operator is top tier. So this guy is so fearsome to deal with. He can set up individually for himself. You saw that top mid play where he turned that flash and came and got that double with the Blade Storm. I mean, things like that he's able to pull out, taking a page out of Something's book, to be honest. We saw that last year. So, like, those kind of plays that he has in the bank, on top of playing pretty well off of his teammates, and his teammates support him. We saw a lot of teamwork, you know, in that final round. Meteor there swings into mid to cover him from market. Things like that really working well for Gen G.
Yeah, I mean, is Texture really the make or break here? I don't know, because they've all been playing fantastically. They've been able to read all of Paper Rex's maneuvers. They're swinging from site to site. Basically, they figure them out.
Like you mentioned before, right? You know, Texture, I don't know if he's exactly the make or break. He is definitely the star fragger right now. But there are those games, even when he struggles a little bit. Maybe like he's like, I don't feel good today. I'm a little bit off. But then he tells his teammates, and they all step it up. That's the craziest thing, because that culture difference from like some of the other Korean teams and how PaperX operates even, there are some similarities here, and they all definitely feel like they are close to that finishing line. They can taste victory, and I think that's something that gives them this extra boost, this extra surge of confidence. And Gen G is really hungry today. Out of all days, today, they are the hungriest I've ever seen.
Texture is hungry again, and you know what happens when Texture is hungry. He gets a lot of kills, and he has 4 more maps to get through. Maybe even less at this point. Well, the next map, I mean, the triple duelist comp?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
I mean, look, it got over the line yesterday. I mean, if it isn't for a few key moments, right, that could have very well gone T1's way. So, and now you have to look at what Gen G is able to do. You have to start thinking that T1 probably right now isn't as strong of a team as Gen G. And not just because of the way this map went, but because of how this whole season has gone so far, in that just the ability to adapt and be explosive and things like that. T1 is a much more stable team. They're a very fundamental team. This Gen G team doesn't really scream that to me. They're screaming, we are going to take duels sometimes, and we're going to win. But we're also going to adapt on the defender side. You know, the early contact plays that they tried in the pistol round and the follow-up against PaperX didn't work. Immediate adjustments came in round 3 and got them that 5-round win streak you talked about.
That's one of the biggest things, you know, about this Gen G right now. Yes, we've seen PaperX. They got that triple duelist. Very interesting. Maybe they cooked it up like 1 or 2 weeks ago. That's what they said in the interview. But Gen G, we've only seen their split once. They played it against RRQ in their opening games against in Group C. And they had this double duelist composition. Meteor on the Jet, Texture on that Raze. And it wasn't the best game for Texture. They actually lost that map to RRQ 13-11. They really struggled on that attack. But the thing is, RRQ had a more traditional composition. They had that double controller, so I think that's one of the main factors why. If PaperX plays triple duelist against a double duelist, how does that work on defense? You know, you have to really think about how you want to make use of that Yoru, and I'm not too sure if they are going to do the same thing again.
Yeah, I think if you're Gen G and you're assuming that PaperX is going to lean in to that triple duelist again, I wouldn't mind seeing something like a double sentinel here from the side of Gen G, something to really shut down some of that firepower, to utilize those gaps in the abilities. But it is going to be the same thing here for Gen G. They're still going to use that double duelist, so probably just frankly didn't have enough time to really workshop anything. Like, it's really tough, of course, with the short amount of time and the insane amount of games that Gen G has had to play.
Triple duelist for PaperX. Let's see.
Let's do it. It worked.
It did work, but what really makes a duelist effective is confidence. It is so important. And right now we could see Texture was definitely feeling it. Every time the cam was on him, he was screaming, he was singing, he was looking happy. He did at one point, but he got that like 3K. Paper Rex, they need to feel confident. You have 3 duelists. You have no confidence, that's it. All right, let's go into our second game split over to our casters to take us through the action.
Thank you very much. Yes, here we go again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't tuned into the matches yesterday, first of all, what in the hell were you doing? What were you thinking? Missing out on those overall blowouts that we had. But you missed the triple duelist debut from Paper Rex, but that's okay. They're bringing it out for you once again. The question is, can they get the win here?
Yeah, and now starting on the attacking side as well. So Geng, they've been banning it since that tough
udah mulai guys.
loss
Gue
against
udah
RQ
dari kamar
11-13
mandi.
as Des touched upon. Now they're bringing it back.
Mulai
Now
sih,
in that game, their defense was, you know, by
Belum
miles
mulai ternyata.
much stronger. So trying to just get a head start here on the rounds. And guess what? Paper Rex, they favor the attack here with this composition as well.
All right, for now, nice and quiet over here at B. So they get into some very deep positions. Flash held at the moment there from Locky as a nice interrupt on the plant comes through.
Whoop.
The rush back.
Whoop.
Able to find one,
Wow.
2. Meteor up and
Whoop.
finding one before getting taken out. Amazing fast hit coming back in here from Paper Rex is suddenly Munchkin, the last one standing with just a sheriff in hand. He's looking for some kills, looking for anything here, but with another paint shell,
Awas, kena
everybody
bom
counting him down,
monyet.
he will fall. Defy the only casualty. Paper Rex will once again claim an opening pistol.
Yeah, I thought Geng might just be going for the delay there with the paint shells and then take that time to clear out back alley once more, but they kind of initiate the retake immediately, and that actually favors Paper Rex as they've already gotten off of the spike plant. They still have all 5 members available. Still good positions from within the site. So Geng, we'll see if they kind of reconsider some of those timings, because we know how crazy Paper Rex's post-plant situations can get, especially with Forsaken Juru.
Meteor still going to be picking up that Marshall. He's on the jet. Very standard eco buy from him. Otherwise, Charon ready for some close contact, but something swinging in the corner. This is one of the things that we saw he was so damn good at, was shutting down side player snipers, swinging corners with the Vandals, and finding the headshot instantly. So he does it once more here. Start off this round.
Ada lagi?
Back will take a bit of damage, but finds the elimination there on the Lakia. Now with Charon making his way over. I think he's going to have to take Lakia's gun, because shorty on the retake probably not going to be the best thing.
Yeah, good backup from Forsaken as well. So we see that Mind Freak's pretty low, and you don't want to lose those rifles. So Forsaken going down with the Sheriff is fine. You still have 3 rifles that you bought up. Want to try to keep that in play. And Divine hears that. He's ready for the quick kill onto Charon. That's 2-0 lead for Paper X once again.
That it is. This is where we saw the turnaround and the streak beginning for Geng. So Paper X, see if they're going to be able to clinch this conversion on the bonus round.
Lah, gue baru sadar 3 duelis mereka mainnya.
Really nice hot start there from something. Mind Freak with fantastic anchor, just not allowing them to find any presence.
3 duelis, 2 smoke.
Yeah, given the compositions,
Tidak
once
butuh
again,
inisiator dan
in yesterday's game,
sentinel.
I gotta imagine they have to be looking to throw something out of the book and get this bonus round conversion. You want to get as many on the attacking half as possible.
Does it again.
It starts with that.
He does it again. Swing main, kill player, over at screens.
Should have heard the footsteps.
Starting things off 2-0. Meteor just around the corner. Lakia swinging. They're going to try to double face here.
Something mati kayaknya nih.
Yeah, it's not ready for that swing to come back through. It's going down. The rest of the team rotating over towards B, where Charon's still going to be sat by just kind of dodging around that Trailblazer a bit. And I guess just didn't see anything at all. No peripheral vision on the dog, I suppose. Forsaken, but that outlaw to use does manage to find Charon. Texture up and half, however, will be able to trade one back. Mind Freak very quickly replies with a kill of his own. Push out. Damage there on him on yet. Cancel on the plan for now. Means that Meteor does manage to find at least one more. But widely, with the teammates coming through, Paper X not going to be concerned about their losses whatsoever. They convert the bonus and start off 3-0.
I'm a little shocked at how confident Divide was that the Trailblazers didn't see him. I mean, he just knew exactly the angles that it would be able to scout, especially around the toxic screen. I think that's more so what he was banking on. The fact that, of course, when you're right up against that toxic screen, your vision does get blurred a little bit already. And with all that distraction, you know that the site should be weaker, and that's going to be an early timeout. You got to imagine from the Geng side, finally using one.
Nah, it's Alex just saying, all right, good job, guys.
Yeah, he's like, this time I want to tell you, good job for once.
Keep this up. Just do more of what you're doing. But yeah, I mean, first time out call that we're seeing from the Gen.G camp, just given how far ahead they were and how much in the driver's seat they were on that opening map, never needed to really pump the brakes. So after dropping that bonus, we'll start talking about what the game plan's going to be. They're identifying so far, but it's also difficult because at the end of the day, these rounds are starting because something just swings a corner and headshots you.
Yeah, I mean, when you're already down one man, and I was almost going to say PaperX not really gaining that much more space after something goes into the site might bite them back, but it works out. Gen.G gets a little curious because they still don't have as much information either. Of course, they're also running a double duelist here, so not as much util that you're used to having, especially with the sky changes. I am curious if Gen.G might consider trying not to use the operator too much, right? Don't try to build up to that too much economically, because you might get the first kill, but when you've got the Raze Jet and the Yoru like all TPing into sight, that just spells trouble.
Oh, I mean, we saw how easily, for the most part, Forsaken was able to deal with those operators as well. When he was the one going into the dimensional drift or just TPing into a position where they suspect the side player was going to be posted up, more often than not, he was coming away with those eliminations. So it could be the game plan that they try to stray away from that. We'll have to just wait and see as things continue to develop. For now, full stack from Gen.G over on the A side.
Pass.
As they are very quickly going to learn that they have gambled wrong.
Wow, that's unfortunate, and PaperX will just wait to have somebody that needs an ult point try to go for the spike plant.
Monyet finally volunteers. Saying Showstopper's pretty good. I guess I'll take that.
And knowing that they had the time as well. Now, I'm going to be curious if PaperX all decide to push back out of main, because it looks like that's the idea. They don't want to push any deeper into the site. So PaperX, perhaps the idea, not really necessarily going for kills, right? They just want to say, we want to snowball as much as possible. We want to keep the weapons we have. Don't necessarily hunt for kills. If they die to the spike, that's it.
Creeping up. Mind Freak finding one. Charon. And off the back of that damage there, gets the nice headshot.
Yeah, you're going to want a double stack here. Something alone could be dangerous.
Monyet checking all the way back over towards spawn. Heaven for the time being, not being checked. As Lockett will fall, but Charon with another nice shot. Texture as well. Getting some solid damage. Charon's going to be able to find 3. They clean him up. They can't stop the spike from going off. PaperX, they will be able to get up to 4. Gen.G doing some damage, recovering some weapons.
This is by far the absolute worst case scenario for PaperX on that round. Sure, you're supposed to win the round. Yes, you can buy up to most of your weapons. But giving over those kills and the free weapon upgrades, that allows for the operator to still be a considered purchase here for Meteor. That gives Gen.G a ray of hope to get back into this first half.
Potentially, I mean, Meteor not going to give them the opportunity to really swing in towards main. He's just going to try to greet them off the rib. Does have Lockyer to try to back up, peel
Who's next?
a bit, but with the dimensional drift coming through, he's just going to have to back away very swiftly. Now the Paranoia as well crashing in.
They're all in.
Forsaken is out of the portal, and he's got a judge in hand. Lockyer falls. Something is the one, of course, to headshot Meteor at the same time. So Munchkin will make his way up into heaven. Will be able to take down the enemy jet, but now a 3v4. Such hard angles to try and clear. Divine holding ramp. Shuts down one. Karen just sporting into heaven, still managing to find the elimination there. Texture waiting out that flash, swings in, and Forsaken's going to be good for it. A 3K here from the Yoru is PaperX. Well, not going to be losing all their weapons this time around, and in fact, they pick up the operator themselves.
Yeah, you can imagine how you're going to counter the Yoru all you want, but once you hear that little whisper from the other dimension following you all into the site, things get a little chaotic. We even have the Paranoia there to assist as well. That just really sets up all 3 duelists for a great entry. And I was going to say, overall, this is actually one of the first matches where I felt that Devi had very little impact, but right there, holding that close angle, trying to get back into the swing of things himself.
Still a purchase coming through, but obviously the operator not in hand. Something just going to look to eat some of that damage. As the Trailblazer, nice timing, does get cleared out before it can spot him in this position. Flash coming in, Texture on the swing. Not ready for it, ends up getting taken down. Dominance continuing from PaperX.
Now, Gen.G, they can't get too curious about this. I like that they're retaking control of ramp, but that's about all you get. You try to push in through the smoke. That spells trouble.
But look at this. I mean, because of the just lack of sound, they're drifting off. They're moving away from this A site.
I don't blame them, because otherwise you're down to a 2-2 split, right? So I guess they're just saying, listen, worst case scenario, we go for a 45 retake. You do have the Cosmic Divide. We'll see what they have cooked up. So I don't blame them, but you're right.
Cosmic
I mean, they go for the
Defy.
gamble because they don't hear the audio anymore.
Cosmic
and it's
Defy.
once again, another free site for Paper X. I mean, you know, they're happy to fight, but they're just saying, okay, well, if we go in for free with no content, we'll take that as well.
The handoff to Monjet. Showstopper now online. It's Gen.G. And how far do you really push to try to get this retake going before you just have to call it off? Lockett does have a stinger, so he wouldn't mind sacrificing for the, you know, chancer to try to clean some kills up. Showstopper doesn't come out.
Aduh,
Not
anak.
much of anything
Whoop.
there, and oh man, gonna
Whoop.
suck him out of the sky for the short.
Whoop.
Lockett will be able to find one. Caron now though, last man standing. Push onto the corner. He's gonna be good for the kill into something. He was down to no HP. Snappy as all hell though. Finds another kill, goes into the Astral Form, sends it the Cosmic Divide. Mind Freak sends out the Paranoia. He tries to swing the wall. TP's in behind him. Caron thinking he was up above.
I mean,
oh man.
the fact that, first of all, Caron thought he would have gone above, props to him. I mean, he threw his best shot he had in that chaotic 1v1 when he was just enshrouded in the darkness. But Mind Freak, I've been seeing it watching these games. I feel like we're getting right up close to peak Mind Freak once again. Reminiscent of the performances he had back at Masters Copenhagen, where he was helping carry so many impact rounds.
They say Masters Copenhagen, we still look at champions.
That's true.
That Astra play, the 1-2-3 on Pearl, lives rent-free in my head, not just because I was the one that said it. He had his spikes, but I mean, right now, Gen.G looking like a very different team, and Paper X absolutely thriving in this chaos.
Wow.
A second timeout called after 6 rounds played. Nothing scooped up here for Gen.G. And I mean, again, the closest that they got was when they killed everybody. But the spike, it was too far gone.
I'm curious to see, because with, you know, once you're down that one man, suddenly these retakes are looking tough. Forsaken just asking for a massage. He's like, I really want to be the super hard carry here. You got to loosen me up a little bit, but I mean, they don't really need it at this point. All of them performing well up to their own standards here on the second map, looking very comfortable and proving that this triple duelist wasn't just a gimmick. And we talked about this before coming into this match. I mean, sure, they might have cooked something up just because this tournament is relatively short. People aren't going to have as much time to anti-strat. So yes, there's merit to that, but hey, that's power to you. You know how to play the tournament, you know how to play the system. You might as well be ready for that victory.
And every other team with hopes of Madrid around the world likely going to be looking at this one. Only for Paper X to do something completely different when they make it over to Spain. Monjet jumping forward, trying to see if he can get somebody out into the open. It's like something has now in mid. Lockett just jiggling on the corner.
And that's
not wide enough to spot the operator.
No info, no flashes. Your retake is now more difficult. You don't know if you want to stack or go for the 2-2 split. So Gen.G, if you don't want to give up this round right away, I think you do have to play for contact. It's risky, but this is what you need.
Going down. Okay, the 2v2. Surprise fight goes the way of Gen.G. Munchkin Texture putting their team here in the most winnable position that they've been in, and Munchkin reads it perfectly.
My ultimate is ready.
Turns the sights back to the main. Swing in. Snake fight at the ready. Full flash connecting onto him. He will just get sprayed down through the smoke as blast back entry is attempted. Monjet does fall. Texture now swinging back over the ramp. Forsaken winning the fight. The mask going to be thrown on.
Oh, he should be able to get
the teleport. He's going to be able to spot them both. Rotating around. And it looks like they think that he's just going to end up snapping back over towards A. Fakes the teleport. Now exits over here at B.
They called a bluff as much as they could, but it's Forsaken. He knows how this works. He sees their movement all the way to the end, even leaves that one extra seed of doubt, spotting Caron nearby, and now he has a gate crash.
Muter Kevin. Forsaken, let's go.
Set up. No other util to play with. 40 HP.
When does he tap it, though? Surely this is a fake.
Hold. They get it up to half. He's going to have to do something here soon. The fake TP coming in, but Caron just
Kanan
stuck
dikit.
to it.
Enteng, apa-apa.
That's unfortunate. Just couldn't
Nice
find
try.
the lineup onto the headshot. Meteor will clean up the kill as well. The setup was there. You know, you can't doubt the Master Yoru here in Pacific, but Caron just sticking with it close to the wall as well. So good positioning with Meteor able to cover him. this is where it starts. I mean, Munchkin with the call that we can't just keep getting shaken up back and forth after we lose one guy. We have to even out the numbers. And this is how they win a lot of these rounds, where they don't get the first kill, right? They've been very good at converting these.
Well, that's one step in the right direction here for Gen G.
Get out of my way.
Again, it was, widely that attacker's side that we saw Paper Rex getting the most value from the triple duelist. Understandable. As last pack bouncing backward out of that smoke. Not much damage taken here. Nightbot comes in, Texture decides that that's his swing timing. Something swings up in towards heaven. Finds Locky with a right click. Texture looking for a little bit more, but Forsaken able to keep his teammate protected. It's whittled away at, but keeps them in with a man advantage.
They have information on 2 of the members. I'm pretty sure they should have spotted the Jet up in heaven as well.
Karan waiting to see if anybody else comes swinging in, but Forsaken just playing right on the edge outside of the garage. There's the timing. He swings in. He will be able to find one, then gets taken down.
They're going to wait for the lurk from Devi. They still have so much time.
Swing out, Munchkin ready for it. Now looking for the push forward. Something able to win out versus Meteor.
Munchkin has the pit.
But does he commit it here? It's still so risky. Maybe if he wins the opening fight, there's something jiggle peeking. Not a weapon, ends up falling. Munchkin still though, completely unaware of Mind Freak's position. Needs to just rely on his intuition, but now knows.
Itu tadi menang sih.
Time is going to be dwindling. Smoke coming down. Swings out. Mind Freak right in the corner, able to find the kill. Paper Rex not allowing for Gen G to string anything together. 7-1. The half becomes worse and worse as time goes on for Gen G.
Yeah, Paper Rex is going to be happy if they can even just pick up one more round here, which is looking very possible with the economy in this one. But a very quick kill and exit from something on that one. And I want to give props to Munchkin. He reads the jump timings onto the Jet over from something, and he peeks out right as he knows the jump is landing because he hears the float. But at the end of the day, it's Mind Freak once again. 10 kills and 3 deaths. What an impressive scoreline.
Manyan going on the entry, hits the full flash. He's going to be taken down by Texture with the nade. Michel's finding one now, Showstopper. Texture goes leaping forward. Sends it into the corner. Mind Freak TP is actually on the back end of the Showstopper going off. Now gets himself tucked away, but the spike for now getting drifted over towards that B site, rotating back around through the attacker spawn. Meteor, however, way out ahead, and he can hear these footsteps.
Oh yeah, notwithstanding the weapon situation, this is the best round Gen G's looking at so far.
There's the one tap, the Guardian putting him down. Doesn't want to continue to hold the angle, showing respect to the opponents that he's facing. He pulls back, also very well aware that that sewer lurk could come through from behind.
And the Seekers are going to give him sight of at least one.
Oh my, what a snappy shot. Finds one, looks for another. Hadn't got that on the Mind Freak. I might have lost my damn mind. Paranoia going to be sent out. Meteor pulling back over in towards heaven. But now it is just Devi and Mind Freak to try and see if they can somehow engineer this 2v5 retake. Otherwise, Gen G, I mean, it was on the tip of my tongue right as the round started, but they push the go button so quickly. But these guys, they're thrifties throughout this tournament, have been impeccable, and they're looking for another one now.
That's how they're able to overcome so many of these opponents, and Texture has the lineup. 2 more in B main as well, so even if they get through this race, it's a difficult one.
So with the Sheriff looking for the shot, this time not going to be able to find it.
Gravity well.
But grab well coming through, time dwindling, 12 seconds. Devi tapping the rope, and Karan just trying to slow them up. Devi able to find one, but he needs to get the plant down, taps it, fakes it. The round is already over. He's well aware of it. Won't be able to hold on to the weapons. The Thrifty will come through. Gen G get themselves up to 2 rounds.
We're going to have to go back and look at this entire tournament because it wasn't just yesterday. Gen G, they have been clawing their way back into not just maps, but entire matches and stages, phases of this entire kickoff tournament to stay alive off of these Thrifties, off of these 4v5s, 3v5s, things like that. And you wonder just what it is, and I think Karan's a big part of it. Just the shots he can make with these Sheriffs, with these Guardians, things like that.
I think he's leading the charge right now, he and Mind Freak. Topping the board. So, Makia testing the limits there, but coming out on top. Trailblazers are going to be cleared, and Meteor's got the covering fire. Forsaken thinking he was going to have the jump. Ends up getting punished for it. Gen G looked to get the 3. pulling off the angle for a brief little moment. Meteor continuing to have his sights trained in towards mid. By swinging onto the corner, will be able to find that follow-up headshot through the corner now. Grabwell goes out. For now, not wanting the challenge in. Still formidable opponent to the other side, even if it's just the Sheriff's in hand. Protects your right.
Ente main break. Wah, atas.
Mind Freak has no choice but to swing in and try to fight. He'll go down.
I'm not sure if this was necessarily called out in their comms, but Charon not peeking once more after activating the Grabwell, it just shows how much experience he's gained throughout this tournament as an entirely new rookie. Because obviously with the Grabwell activated, he saw that the Omen was still stuck in that area of effect. He could have gone for it, but if he dies there while everyone is waiting for that extra duel, the last duel in mid, that's a rifle given over one more chance for Paper Rex to claw back into the round. So he just says, I won't give it to you. I'll wait for more backup to come, and we'll swarm you for the last kill.
And we only have the timeout being called here from Paper Rex. So, I mean, a bit of a moment to kind of talk about Charon a little bit more and maybe explain to those who don't know what a Royal Road is.
Ah, yes, because I guess for Charon, this is exactly that opportunity. It's when someone obviously just enters into that tournament for the very first time and they're able to go all the way to the very end, winning the title. And for Charon, it's not just this tier of tournament, it's not just this event or this series of VCT. It is just everything in the entire professional Valorant ecosystem. This is going to be his first time playing at an official tournament during a regular season. And for him to win a title of Pacific Kings would be nothing short of miraculous.
Yep. It's on a good pace, and I mean, Geng, let's say they take the series. Right now, Charon making a damn good argument for MVP of this grand final. See what happens. So there's still plenty more Valorant to be played. Paper Rex still out in the lead by 4 rounds. Geng want to try to claw that back as much as humanly possible. Back from Devi, anticipating some forward aggression. Keeps that staved off for the time being as majority of Paper Rex find themselves out here in mid. Lockya, however, snappy with a headshot, takes down Forsaken. Something in Monyet, go rushing forward. They will get some nice trade damage back there on the Lockya, putting him down to 48, but kill is not found.
Paper Rex, they have good position on the map, but they just have no idea how many more members might be near ramp in the site on A, so they are a little cautious, and that gives time for Lockya to get the information he needs to start the rotate over to A.
Lockya comes back in. Ooh, somehow making it out of there with his life intact. The drop down from Monyet rushing forward, and Munchkin cannot find the spray. He's able to come up with a kill against all odds. Bringing it now back into a 4v4. Rest of the team rotating over. Devi ready. The pit now going to be invested.
All 4 in the pit, though. I mean, this is a gamble if I've ever seen one.
Convict Divide. Not sure how much it's going to be realistically doing here for the side of Geng. We'll see how they often play around this one, but something spotted the gun barrel. We'll find the headshot there on a Meteor. Just continue to play around the back of sight. Lockya finished off. Something coming up with yet another kill. Now updrafts here on top of the screen. Finds texture.
Bam! Wah, Lockya dapat main break. Wah.
Something will get the 4th to put him down and stop the potential run back from coming through. Paper Rex.
Last round
Timeout working for them. They get themselves now up to 8, looking for 9.
Yeah, I think 8's where you feel okay with it, but 9 would make it very comfortable because then you just win that pistol. And with this composition, surely you just cook up a little, a couple more options for your pistol rounds. Make sure you secure the 2 free rounds on the half off the back of the pistol. And then try to get it. This 3rd kill is just not fair. Right at the end of the spray, he adjusted towards the bottom before he dashes out. But the updraft is smart. You know the Cosmic Divide is there. They're not going to hear it entirely clearly.
I'll handle this.
That's now on. Forsaken starting off this last round of the half very quickly. Rushing forward, Judge in hand. He finds Charon. Meteor swinging around the backside of pillar, able to find one, but now he's completely surrounded. He's going to get just chopped to bits. Something with the Blade Storm finding the kill. The man advantage for now going to be here in the hands of Paper Rex. Top left send. Texture swinging out, trying to get the transfer. Can't make it happen. Lockya arrives with the Odin. Munchkin as well up onto the Raptors. Takes down something, and now it is all on Devi.
Tiba-tiba habis.
On this alley side. Lockya out, giving credence to his potential position. Starts checking in behind.
Yeah, you got to suspect it one way or the other. I'm fine with you refilling the pit, but you know where Devi's been playing in that match yesterday against T1. No, he loves those lurks. Now, 50 seconds. I mean, Devi could clear here, go back up to heaven. He's got all the options he needs.
Does, but he's going to be spotted. Checking right.
4-4.
Munchkin
Not
finds
bad.
it. Gen.G will be able to finish the half with 4 rounds. Which is more than it was looking like it was going to be.
Yes.
But Paper Rex still in very firm control.
No, I think the scoreline itself, both teams are probably okay with it, but given how it started, Gen.G probably feeling a bit better going into the second half, looking at their chances. Both teams going to be eyeing that ever so precious pistol round to see if they can chain it in to the 2 free wins. That would get Paper Rex just 3 steps away from trying to tie up the series 1-1. It's great to see so many fans out here, not just for Gen.G, but of course the reigning champions Pacific as well. I mean, the fan base that they've created here in Korea after the impressive performances last year, including the finals at the Changchun Stadium, has been very, very amazing to see. But now they have to prove it once more, a new start in the 2024 season.
It's all about retaining that throne here for Paper Rex. But yeah, I mean that, you know, just their history and camaraderie with DRX throughout the multiple internationals that, you know, they have appeared at together, which has basically been every international until now.
Yes. Yeah, it's crazy to really think about the history that the two teams have created, and now we're already seeing a bit of a shakeup, and maybe a little bit more of it as well, as Paper Rex are already down 1 map, trying to win their map choice of split. This is where it starts. It's going to be a 3-2 split for Paper Rex.
Kita lihat defend dari Paper Rex dan attacking dari Gen.G. Apakah apa? Kita lihat aja punya.
Feels like dad going out to get milk.
Apakah defend Paper Rex sekuat itu ataukah
Right
attacking Gen.G sekuat itu? Mana yang paling kuat?
Well, Forsaken did go for the Sheriff.
Oh, the rush. The flash is good.
Whoa.
Get the back. First kill, but
Whoa.
check Munyan.
Wow, nice. Apa-apa. 2 for 2. 3v3 jadinya.
Across the opposite side of the map.
2 Sheriffs. Paper Rex are just looking to swing and win these duels.
Good. Nice. Oh.
Arriving, able to find one, giving them back.
Wow.
Caron, snappy with the first one. The swing out back.
Yeah.
Munchkin catching Devi unawares. Now it's all on Forsaken. Low HP Bart finishes off the enemy Astra. Still more work to be done. It's down the stairs, but this is going to cost him a significant amount of time.
Yeah, he's just going to need to swing at the last second, get that kill. But it might just work out. Oh, no!
Okay, for a second, Munchkin could have got the headshot. It seemed like that would have been such a devastating loss. But Paper Rex, they will maintain dominance in these pistol rounds. Now 3-1. They will get up to 9.
Onyet still has a statue in that corner, and you just don't suspect it in the pistol round. Especially after, you know, the guiding light hits, you see one person flash, there's just no reaction, no spray, nothing else. And Gen.G thought they had it all. But the double kill stabilizes just enough. I was afraid that we saw the double team of Devi and something trying to go for the early peaks before Forsaken was able to arrive, but dwindling the numbers down just enough. And now double Outlaw. Yeah. They want to snowball as many rounds as they can, because listen, just one round here and then maybe another with all your ults online, and then you're close to the win.
I think 1 Outlaw, easy enough to read. Do you expect that there's going to be 2?
I mean, it's such a commitment, too.
Forsaken looking for it. The shot whipping, but hey, he got 2 bullets.
Down mid.
Swings further out, finds Caron. And they still don't even know that something has one over in this A site, which is where they're about to start heading.
Yeah, the gate crash once again set up for A side as well. And it almost just feels like Forsaken gets some kind of armor when he tries to gate crash out. Always so good with it.
Something now. Sends the shot, 5 pushing forward, able to find one, but runs out of bullets. Lakia is able to take him down. Need more damage from here, though. Let's start hurting Paper Rex a little bit more, but for now, loss of the Spectre not going to be too devastating as something. 2 bullets, 2 kills. Paper Rex get the double digits.
A lot of value off of this new weapon introduced here in 2024. And they can continue with it. Now, most people on Gen.G will have full armor, so it won't be as devastating as if they had, you know, all bought up to things like Marshals and Sheriffs, but with the shots that these players are able to hit. And this position on Devi, as soon as he knows that there's contact on ramp, he's been using that to really punish and just cut off a little bit of reinforcement. So Gen.G's gonna have to watch out for that.
Full stack from Gen.G, ready to send it here at A. Like something gonna be going for the peak. Sends out one. It's a flash. Extra trying to chase in. Will get a good amount of damage through the wall, but now to swap over onto the shorty, but decides to pull back as that Trailblazer does come through. Shorty once again drawn out the push into the Cloudburst. Something finds the kill. Drops out on the top. Divine with the covering fire there on the Singer. Takes down Texture. Lakia, however, arriving. Comes up with two. Monyet, backside, Judge in hand, finding them all. Oh, a bit of a stutter step, but it doesn't matter because Mind Freak arrives.
Whoa.
Screen. Paper Rex. They're going to convert yet another bonus.
And they're bringing the chaos back. I love it. I mean, you just don't expect that, right? Sure, you see the outlaw, you chase it down. It did seem like Meteor was somewhat wary of the shorty standing by, but then you're trying to chase the backups there from Defy, and then you think you cleared it all. Monyet still one more final boss behind the map. And now Paper X so close, and this Outlaw's going to continue to find value, and they've been doing this. They did it on Sunset against Gen G as well. They just keep rolling with it.
Yep. This time he's way out in front. Be a hell of a shot to try to stop this one, but I mean, even covering fire there is something. So Monyet getting pieces. Meteor will be taken down. Mid has been cleared out. Spike stranded in Ramen.
And the gate crash back as well. And it's things like this that'll really start to make you question your understanding of the economy. Because obviously some rounds you just can't help it, but how many of those rounds are you willing to make happen? Because of course you might have your own set plays with some rifles, maybe with shotguns, things like that, but the moment you buy that half armor, it just feels bad. Got sight.
Yep. It's all enough of each other there, and Monyet wisely backing away, knows that a clean shot to the chest will take him down. So with the weapon recovered, we'll see if Munchkin can deal any additional damage here. Working his way up, but as he stands up, it's right into the crosshair, and Forsaken will be able to find Karen trying to enter in from Garage. 12-4, Paper X. Clearly not flustered whatsoever with the loss on Ascent, feeling right at home with this triple duelist.
Yep, everyone putting up the numbers they need, playing the role that they need to. Obviously, some of these long-range duels really assisting the scoreline for Something and Forsaken. But they're also kind of the main ones that are creating a lot of these distractions. I mean, now and then it's a division between that Jet and the Raze. But once it comes to that defense, just one more round is all they need. And now it's an Operator. They want to close this out as soon as possible.
Extra jump forward, gets himself past that Outlaw. Have the tempo to try to really rush in and take it down. They're also wary about that covering fire that could be there backing it up, but look at this line. Nebula coming in, all the timing just barely off to try to be able to find the kills. Flash still there. Ticket gonna be taken out. Mind Freak fighting one, Monyet getting the other. TP in the backside. Showstopper comes in. Monyet just blowing Karen to smithereens. Finds the kill. Munchkin on the rope somehow winning out that fight, but he's now gonna rotate all the way around to his spawn, and he doesn't get the opportunity. Something will finish him off.
Clean play.
13-4 in response
Let's
to the
go.
13-5 loss
This
on
is
Ascent.
Pepe
Ladies
Rick.
and gentlemen, we have a series on our hands. No 3-0s
Map ketiga,
in sight.
yaitu Lotus. Setelah Lotus, Bind. Setelah Bind, Breeze. Tapi semoga tidak sampai map kelima ya. Semoga Pepe Rick menang 2 kali. Jadi 3-1. Oke, ini lagi iklan. Kita mute dulu, kita buka YouTube. Refresh. Sebenarnya gue mulai lagi sih guys. Nah ini nih. Ini. Wah, mantap ini. Mulai lagi sebenarnya gue guys. Ya udah lah guys ya nih. Nonton ini lagi dulu aja deh. Tapi gue mau ke toilet dulu. Yeah.
Wow. Coolest comp from especially a team like Paper X.
Yeah, there's nothing really to slow down the Paper X comp here, and they're just better at kind of this style of play, right? Yeah, you've got the double duelist here for the side of Gen G, but they don't seem nearly as comfortable with the speed of play. The only thing you really have is Astra Gravity Wells, and just relying on that, it's not really that great against the Oru, because he can TP out of there. You're not really catching anybody else, you know, because they're so maneuverable, they're so fast with the Jet and the Raze, so you're not getting a lot of value out of that pick. So definitely something that I think if there was more time for Gen G, if they had the ability to really workshop this map a little bit more, they could have come in here with something different, but with how fast-paced they've had to play, with how they've had to play pretty much every day, I frankly think just not enough time to really try something different.
I completely agree. I think this would be a very different outcome if Gen G had more time to prepare. That said, PaperX, I mean, they used this comp yesterday, and they also looked great.
Works wonderful, especially on that attacking half. You saw how Forsaken makes use of that Yoru, basically like what Asarai said before, human recon dart. He just dives out, gate crashes away, gets information from the team, they come in and swing off of it, or Dimensional Drift, and it actually, you know, instills a bit of fear into players like Texture. If he's trying to off, suddenly Dimensional Drift is a foot and right in front of you, you start to feel a little bit shaken. And that happens for several rounds until Coach Solo calls 2 timeouts really early on, and then you start to see some adjustments coming in. They start to set up for retakes, they start to play, you know, really far back, and you really have to watch out for Gen G's Guardians right now. The way that they shoot is so sharp sometimes that you actually see PaperX players kind of whiffing for a second or two. I mean, Karen's still a very, very outstanding player, really scary to play against, but then again, once you go into that second half, Monyet started to show up. Monyet started to have some crazy movements and ways to kind of hold down the site or play in that retake. So PaperX just making quick work of Gen G for this one. But again, kind of like you said, Paperthin just not having enough time to prep.
Yeah, I mean, Munchkin is so sharp, and that's the guy you're talking about on the Guardian. Even on an eco round, as long as he has a Guardian, he can turn the tides of a round. A couple of these wins here that they have were thanks to Munchkin just nailing them in the head on those rounds. And, you know, I think there was a point where Alex called a timeout, probably because he noticed a lot of these two teams were just going into contact plays. There was no utility being used, and PaperX was just losing straight up to these 1v1 duels.
Yeah, this is something that Gen G has excelled at throughout this entire kickoff, is they're really good in 1v1s. They're winning a lot of those battles. I mean, yesterday in the 2 maps against DRX, Munchkin had 11 First Bloods. I mean, think about that. He had 11 First Bloods. He's not the duelist. Like, he was all over the map, and that's something going into Lotus that I'm definitely a little bit concerned about for PaperX, is how they're going to deal with that very spread out style that Gen G likes to run. Meteor and Munchkin like to lurk around the map, so you got to be aware of that. But I think Alex just said during that round that you were talking about, just like, guys, just deathball it, just stick together and just go, just come on now.
And now we're going to see something versus Meteor stats instead of our 2 duelists. Something was starting to wake up a little bit. And you know what? I just miss seeing something on the Jet. It's good to see it.
It's definitely fun. It's like when you see an old friend that you haven't seen in a year, and then he gives you a warm hug, and you're like, oh, I remember how this feels. That's really nice. And then he picks up the Outlaw. He starts shooting people, especially on that anti-eco, or the 3rd round that the PaperX played in that second half against Gen G. It really shows that this something is still around. He still has that shorty movement, still aggressive enough to dive into a heaven and wait inside of smokes as Gen G tries to push against him. So if they can keep up this momentum, keep up this pace, it could look really great. I mean, Meteor had some of his moments as well, maybe not quite as outstanding. So there's that slight difference. But as we go into the next map, right, I mean, I still feel as though, like, PaperX aren't out of the woods. As a fan, I'm going to say that. Like, PaperX are not out of the woods yet, because this is a Gen G that's starting to wake up. Meteor's going to go back onto that Killjoy Sentinel role. Their Guardians, their Sheriff shots, some thrifty rounds that Gen G pulls off are still really, really freaking scary. And as an analyst, I will just say that I think Coach Solo really has something cooked up.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, just to recap the stakes here, whoever wins today, both of these teams are going to Madrid. Whoever wins gets those really valuable points to qualify them for Champions, which is back here in Korea this year. I can tell you right now, the audience, you stepped into there earlier. A lot of them are here for PaperX, but even more of them are here for Gen G. Even yesterday, apparently, with all 3 Korean teams playing, a lot of people are actually supporting the underdogs, Gen G.
Oh yeah, the Gen G fans have really come out in force, and players like Munchkin that have been playing for a really long time across multiple different teams, multiple different regions, Meteor as well, you know, bringing a lot of those fans over, you know, from the hype that they were able to generate over in Japan in particular, now coming back to Korea, coming home, you know, all those fans have kind of coalesced around them. They are so loud out there right now. Like, I went down there for a second just to scope it out, and every time Gen G was doing something good, it went bonkers.
Yeah, you looked really energized when you came back, and they were like, guys, it's crazy inside there right now, and I really wish I was down there. And while Korea Valorant is here to witness the showdown, I know Southeast Asia's, you know, watch partying right now. Geng is watching this right now. So shout out to Geng and his mom on Team Pearl. Now, I'm sure they're really happy watching the split result.
It definitely looks great. Again, triple duelist, it's amazing, especially with how Forsaken plays and really pushes back Gen G in some of these rounds. I think William was talking about it in the first half, that so many times PaperX just kind of had free sights because Gen G were, you know, respecting some of these maneuvers. Gen G wanted to try to go in for some of these retake scenarios. There was like a lovely clutch from Mindfreak coming through as well against Karan of all things. Like Mindfreak is starting to, you know, wake up and come back to peak form again. That's the PaperX that we all know and love.
Yeah, I mean, Gen G here just, you know, wasn't able to really play the style that they want. They can't really slow PaperX down at all, and, you know, they have to try to spread the map, and then they can't react to things as fast. I noticed, at least in my opinion, their rotations were rather slow. Their ability to gather information, not that great, even with Locky on that Sky. So things just not really playing into what you expect with the typical PaperX comp.
Yeah, and the typical PaperX comp, you know, you see those duelists, you see them bring out that firepower. As we go back in towards Lotus, that's something to think about.
Rematch.
Yes.
This is gonna be fun.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I like it. Yo, PaperX never disappoints. We were talking about this yesterday. You never know what you're gonna get when it comes to a PaperX comp.
He's hovering. I don't know if he's locking it in yet.
Is this it?
Oh.
Is this a little tease?
I think it's locked.
Tell us. It's gotta be.
I think
it should be.
I think this is it. I mean, why not?
He was Jet before, but if you go into Arena now, I have to think you're trying to play off of device flashes.
Yeah, exactly, right? You're trying to set up kind of those staggered, you know, Lear flash combos, things like that, that really can, you know, make things work really nicely for the side of PaperX. We've seen it on Ascent before, and I'm not too surprised that they're going to lean into this. I think maybe they felt like they needed a change versus the last time. Maybe something will give Gen G a little bit of a different look, because Gen G looked really good on this map last time.
I am so excited for this Lotus. It's going to be a brand new game for these two teams. We're going to go over to our casters. We're going to break it all down and talk about all the action.
Thank you very much. Here we are.
It's back.
It's back, the Reina, but a much different look for PaperX this time around. Still not opting to play this when it comes down to Ascent.
Yeah.
But now we go over to Lotus and they say, hey, you know what? Why not?
I'm curious how this is going to work, because I think one of the ways they were able to have, you know, decent success against Gen G's Lotus the first time around was with the double duelists of Jet and Raze. You can just power your way through that seaside setup. A lot of other teams have been having trouble with that. Now with the Reina, you basically have to send Monyet in on an island again if you want to go into that site. But of course, again, lots of flashes, lots of projectiles to distract when you're trying to go through the opponent's toxic screen.
Okay, looking for the creep across, but they do get the reveal there on a Munchkin, but he and Meteor together going to be able to hold the line, finding 2 kills. Forsaken trading 1 back, and now Texture arriving around from behind, but gets the tink, doesn't find the eliminations. Good damage is dealt. But Defy, with the heal available, can go ahead and just try to top them back up. So health will return up to 100. As for now, PaperX not really leaving the spawn.
Yeah, a little scared, especially with that deep push from Texture. And, you know, if you're a fan of Texture, I think he can be forgiven for showing a human moment across 8 days. Still consider him a bit of a demigod at that point. PaperX just cutting noise, trying to just make sure that they're not exposing themselves, trying to stay huddled, ready for these trades. Of course, with that PaperX team capsule as well on that classic.
Ntar gue maghrib harus ini guys. Mau keluar guys ya, mau bultang guys.
Corral together. We'll wait for that spike plant to come in before getting ready to execute. It seems like PaperX finally sufficiently happy that they are in the clear.
It's not as much utility for the retake, though, whereas PaperX, they have everything to push out if they get an inkling of Gen G approaching close.
Well, they slow things down right before they would have gotten into audio distance. Things coming down. Trailblazer in the presence of at least 1 gnome, but they anticipate that all 3 players are going to be right around this corner. Flash comes in to try to slow things up. Munchkin taking a ton of damage through the box. Now down to 4 HP. Fight holds close. Smoke blooms. Munchkin still able to find 1 now. Locky going to be taken out, but a lot of this rests on Karan, who's now going to be revealed. The push up into the smoke. Munchkin gets himself the 4K with 4 HP remaining. The fuse will come through. Get him even closer to that pit.
Something pakai Reina.
We'll take this pistol round away.
What a monster. I thought PaperX had everything set up. They had the trip, they had the cam to make sure they spot so you don't have someone who's sneakily trying to go for the defuse. It was good. It was meant to keep Karan at bay, but Munchkin is just able to push through the smoke at the right time, catch a sight of Forsaken at the last minute. and picks him off through the smokes, feeding off the energy of the crowd here at the S Factory in Seoul.
Oh, but look at this. Paper X.
Oh, it's here.
Biasanya something pakai jet di sini, guys. Kan dia pakai Reyna. Apakah udah pernah dipakai Reyna sebelumnya di Lotus sama something? Baru lihat sih gua. Waktu itu pernah gua lupa ya.
Well, they certainly know about it now.
They take down the Outlaw as well. That's one of the biggest difficulties. And what a great pick from Lakia.
Oke, nggak apa-apa ente.
Spraying away, swaps over the weapon.
Nice try. Tak apa. Oh, force. Paper X force. 3-0 berarti nih ntar nih. Janji 3 Paper X 0. Di situ pasti ada yang time out. Paper X. Masih kayaknya nggak time out dulu sih.
I will use it.
I'll find a lot of value with it for sure. That's just a warning shot.
Swing in, Mind Freak gone, Texture still nearby, spotting him, but 10 HP, they don't want to surrender any weapons. Reload will come through, they'll just back off.
Just trying to draw him in as backup arrives.
Okay,
Texture a little scared, he's a little trapped with only 10 HP.
See the camera reaction there. Wasn't anticipating that one, but I mean, Devi, that's just really a question of how much damage can he deal, but just the one kill is all it's going to be as Gen G taking the first 2 rounds here on Lotus.
It's a good start, and I am curious. I mean, sure, going for a curveball on the force spy, it can work, but when you're going up against the likes of Viper, a Raze, a Killjoy, where you can just get so much chip damage done to you before you even reach the site, surely Paper X will reconsider that in the future against other teams, or maybe even if they face Gen G once again, as this is a map that Gen G has felt very confident on throughout this entire kickoff.
Just going to be the Sheriff buy coming in here from Paper Rex. Paranoia sent their way. Paint Shell's just driving them out and over towards Meteor, who's got the Outlaw in hand. Finds 2 kills, just the classic for the backup here. And not really anybody to try to bail him out. Munchkin now arriving, but they already managed to push forward and take him down. Weapon is grabbed. Munchkin finding a little for more. Forsaken swapping back up to the Sheriff. Gonna be good.
Itu dia.
Yet another kill here. It was swiftly shut down by Lakia.
I know Paper X has been on weaker weapons the past 2 rounds, but Gen G's movement around the map have been very quick. The moment they get contact, they are able to shove Paper X out of the other side of the map and just tighten the chokehold onto Lotus. I mean, they are not approaching these sites at all in these 2 rounds, and if that's the comms that we're going to continue to see, Gen G should be able to go right back up to 2 points. And the Meteor calling for the Outlaw, really wants to continue using that. I mean, it's a good pickup for the Killjoy as well, right? I mean, we've seen some of the pros talk about it. The turret, the Nano Swarm, everything, even the Alarm Bot assisting for those one-shot kills.
Waduh, selalu kebaca kayaknya nih. Oke, samping tapi dapat, nice. Dapat tiba-tiba habis. Bagus.
It is nice to see the Dismiss be a work of art once again. It's creating such a distraction.
Sama tinggal Meteor nggak dapat 1 sini kayak, dapat 2 malah.
Instant headshot for Meteor, but let's go. Now pull back. Wait for the reload. Sheriff in hand. Spike now planted. Trailblazer at the ready here. On the hunt, seeing what he can spot. So far, it's just the turret. Meteor managing to avoid getting detected here. He's going to push downstairs. The double swing could be brutal for him. Spots 1. Oh, worked down at 12 HP.
And Meteor
over, finds him, looks for the shot. Barely misses. 4 bullets remaining in the Sheriff. Time dwindling. Meteor, can he do the impossible? The tap onto the spike, trying to see if he gets any aggression out of Devi whatsoever. But Devi, stalwart, stays still, gets the kill. But good lord, so much damage dealt here, and he will barely survive, knowing the limitations of that spike explosion.
Man, I was worried when he stood still for a second there, because Meteor's goal was clearly just take down all the weapons.
Jam 6 gue cabut berarti harusnya ini 2 match lagi gue bisa lah. Enggaknya.
This is why you use Arena. If you're able to get those first kills, create that aggro, and then the rest of your team can follow up once again at a cross angle. And Gen G, they'll have to keep note of that. You cannot hunt for something like the Reyna anymore.
Satchel out.
Still not in a fully comfortable spot. Plenty of half armor out here, but just for their sake on Paper X, no Outlaw on the opposite side. So there are some very critical ultimates.
Atau gue live pas bultang gue live kali guys ya. Tapi gimana sih cara live di HP tuh?
Way downstairs. Smoke about to dissipate. Pulls back around the corner. His texture being posted up on a very deep angle. Just knowing that this is everybody stacked up on the A side here for PRX.
Damage on to divide through the wall there as he tried to take that orb.
Spamming. Caron now sitting on that
paranoia. Yeah.
Caught by it. Managing to find the cover and kill. Now the neural theft infested. Meteor. Just hanging out. Sight slot. Geng right as they come swinging in.
Wait, set. Nice.
Cleared out. Monyet.
Wait. Waduh. Dapat itu monyet. Nice.
Classic from Monyet with that vulnerability as well. Going to allow to get the elimination.
Sisa tekstur dengan OP-nya yang kemungkinan besar akan save ya.
Maybe try to find an exit frag, but needs to hold on to this op.
You know, I was just thinking about it as Divide was trying to go for that ult orb as well. With the Reyna now, you've got 3 agents on the side of Paper X who don't really rely on their ultimates too much. You're not really looking at those ultimates to turn an entire round, you know, on its head. Sure, neural theft does help a lot if you're able to get the first kill. But outside of that, and yes, the Reyna with the Empress can go for some insane clutches, a lot of aggro, but again, not things you're building set plays around. It's curious that they're using that on a map like Lotus where you can try to greed for those ult orbs on the attack. Maybe just trying to say that we want to go up slowly up to the site just like they did on A, ignore that C site that has been difficult to break through against Gen G's setup, and continue to play around that revolving door with things like the Leer.
Paper X right back on the saddle here. Gonna catch up as they've dealt a significant amount of damage here to the economy on the side of Gen G. Operator obviously still held over from texture for the rest of the buy. Likely gonna be some sheriffs, maybe. You know, a force up on something like a Marshall. I'll just wait and see what they have, but very nicely taken. And okay, looks like a hero rifle in the hands of Meteor.
Yeah, do you want to support that operator at least one way or another? Make sure you don't go into rounds back to back to back where you're just trying to save it.
Needs all the support he can get, because right now, once again, Paper X looking to just send it over towards A.
And the showstopper this time, it can be even quicker. Going in through tree.
Nightfall at the ready. Logia. Ooh. Tap here on to the Torment. What a great headshot. Finds one, but Mind Freak answering back in kind. Helps take down texture before that op find any value. Now some 3 players left, and Munchkin caught, trying to work his way down rope. Creep in, spotted. Meteor actually tucking below the spray there of something. Avoids it, but eventually is sussed out. Ends up falling, and now it's down to Caron to see if he can deal any additional damage here. And he can. Finds the headshot.
Caron.
Now in a 1v2.
Nice, 3 sama. Sabar gue bakal coba
Caron once again proving though that he's not a guy that you can underestimate. I mean, that was really anybody's shot there if they kept coming out one by one. So keep your eye on that new recruit. We've had so many successful new recruits here at VCT Pacific as we watch them grow even just within the past week of kickoff. But obviously Caron, one of the brightest shining stars as he has already reached the finals, going for that Royal Road here. Now the Odin. And we're piecing together the true Paper Rex one piece at a time. We've got the Reyna, we've got the Odin.
Now they're very well aware of this. Want to try to back away.
Stream your camera, stream your games, stream your camera.
Munchkin setting down that bite. Lear going to be cleared out. Just delaying the Trailblazer for a bit. Dive in should clear that close left side.
Enable camera, enable microphone.
That's been the real bane of it. The poison cloud into the nanoswarm, and just one snake bite still on hold. That's good enough. No one's biting that shadow step. There's still 2 members in the side of C, and Paper X is not exactly aware of that.
I mean, it's effectively 3 players here. You still have Lakia lingering around Waterfall. Tap onto the door. We'll make him rotate maybe back over towards this B site, but for now it is going to be Caron who's looking to intercept all of this aggression that's coming through. To the blast packs forward. Monyet gets himself around the back rubble. Shots exchanged. Caron getting the worst of it. Now it's
tapi nge-lag banget kalau HP gua mah tuh.
Health remaining for him as Mind Freak TP's in a drop.
Mind Freak's been hit.
Prowler not scouting him though. So as he swings out, he finds one. Caron somehow coming away with a headshot. Does manage to shut him down. Now the shift. Paper X working their way over towards C. The nano swarms, the alarm bot still available.
Tapi kalau HP gua
also going to be TPing over.
He just wants to buy time. It doesn't matter if he's low on health. The Nanoswarm should be enough to help him peek out just one more time.
12 seconds remaining. Spike still being brought forward into the site. Handed off now to Monyet.
Bam!
Moving onto the corner in towards Waterfall. Something finding one, but Texture to reply, but there's the Odin spray.
Diodinin sama Forsaken.
Clears out the camp, but displacing this Odin is going to prove to be a pain in the rear for him. To jump up, Monyet in a high ground position. And a little bit of damage there. I mean, Forsaken knocked down to 6 HP. This is still such a rough task for Munchkin.
Such a strain. Yeah, you have to save. I mean, maybe looking for that early kill, knowing that you might have gotten the tags. Maybe see if you can take down the op, bring it back. But outside of that, it's Paper Rex finally gaining some momentum.
Gonna be taking the lead here. For the first time on Lotus. Geng just continuously getting knocked down time and time again when it comes to this economy.
But that's sometimes where they thrive. So I don't know if you can really count them out just yet. But the calls have been good for Paper Rex. Yes, they were cutting it close. I won't say that rotation was necessarily very well calculated. But of course, you know, the push onto the site, drawing them all the way over because of the From the Shadows. Him getting that kill onto Lakia really sells it all the way to the end. Forces Geng to have to come in. Charon saves it, because if he doesn't get the kill there, surely it just ends on the A side right away. But outside of that, it's Paper Rex just saying immediately, okay, we still don't know exactly how many more have arrived just yet. We don't have anyone in the site to help with the pinch. That's the call to rotate over. And of course, you can see Coach Alex also not entirely happy, as it has been a close map here on Genji's pick.
Doing a lot of talking. Solo here doing some listening, allowing for the secondary coaches as well to get involved.
Yeah, and I want to give a good shout to HSK as well. We all know Solo from his New Turn days, but HSK also kind of from that era and squad alongside Solo and Termi from the old days. And now, after finishing his military service, a lot of the Korean pros were wondering if he will enter Valorant, if he'll enter as a pro, if he'll come back as a coach. He had a very brief stint as a player, and then a disastrous first year as a coach last year on the squad of DFM and VCT Pacific. And just building doubt amongst the entire global community. And he comes in and builds this squad, taking down DRX, taking the title of Korean Kings, and now looking to take it over for Pacific.
Turn out. Here.
See if that takeover can start here on the round, where Paper Rex are going to be able to stretch the lead. Spike still not looking great. Spray through, Texture hanging far enough back to not get clipped by anything.
Bam.
Meteor with that Marshall for shot to go wide.
Bam! Dafai.
Not finding purchase. 2 kills picked up here for Divide. Now the Trailblazer into the site. Try to scout. Charon around the corner is going to be noted over at Waterfall. Something wants to push the issue. Full flash into his face. Shorty claims the kill. Nice and easy setup as Paper Rex way out in front here on the round.
Yeah, turning that corner with the Shorty, knowing that it's going to be shorter guns here for Genji. That's just some heads up, classic something maneuver. And this is a good round to abuse that C site, knowing that they're going to have weaker weapons, weaker utility. Plant that seed of doubt that the C site can always be struck.
Hello.
Woo.
Oh, that's a nice
Sakit
track.
banget.
Nice one indeed. Lakia still in a really
Sakit banget ininya. Bakinya, baki gua nggak pernah bisa kayak gitu.
Strong here. And plenty of cash is something is working out those legs. Squats are coming in.
Yeah, a little bit of a rumble from the crowd. Of course, you know, the Korean fans, no strangers to it, thanks to particular members on DRX. Won't name any names, but nice to get a little bit of that rivalry going. You can see just how tough it's been for both of these squads. I mean, Paper Rex usually all just laughing and enjoying the game regardless of the scoreline, and right now they don't want to lose that title. They also, obviously, both teams looking to get the higher seed at Madrid as well.
Higher seed, but also championship points on the line. As they're trying to go Odin v Odin, and it will be Forsaken getting the worse end of it, but still relatively healthy. And Divide, of course, with the heals, could just hop back up to 100. Tap on the orb, something checked close. Poison orb obfuscating as much as possible, as the Lear now going to be sent in.
They heard the Prowler in B as well.
I'm getting the reveal, but Meteor not spotted. Quick little jump peek, checks down below. Nightbot crashing across. Trailblazer coming in from behind though. Meteor noted, taken down. Monyet trying to get through to falling, and now the pit going to be invested. Texture at the same time, finding Mindfreak, but Munchin gone. The pit instantly dropping as Divide brings it down. Pop shot from something, whipping a pit. He re-peeks, and Karen has to swing back. Showstopper in the ready. Is he ready for him to be close? Yes, he is. Texture taking him down, but now dead as the paint shells come flying through. Divide forced back. Him versus Karon. Both players having been so clutch for their teams in the past, and Karon will be able to get the kill. Had the HP advantage, gets it. Gen.G will stop this round win streak that we saw from Paper Rex. Was 5 consecutively. They keep it close.
You know, I just thought maybe Paper Rex would try to sell this as much as possible, draw out that Nightfall, and rotate back over to B. They still had time, they still had Mindfreak on B, because again, this C site has just been a wall against their opponents for Gen.G, and they are pushing them into that C site. They're doing everything they can to force him out there.
Jump forward. Texture likely noted. Yep, has been spotted. Has to try to blast back his way out to safety. Does manage to do so. Avoiding all this forward aggression that we're seeing as the pushing comes in and
something
continues the blood sport towards these operators and find the kills. Lockyer flushed out, Forsaken with the elimination. Managing to find it. Neural Theft getting the spot. The instant headshot into the sprayed out Mindfreak eliminates Meteor. And just like that, Paper Rex say, okay, you want to stop our win streak, we're just going to hound you down.
It's just unfair that Paper Rex has this hidden card that they can use against operators, and it's simply called something. He just swings out, takes down the scope every single
Suara
time.
gue kayak delay ya. Ini gue delay guys, pantesannya reaction gue kok gue liatin facecam gue reactionnya kayak delay gitu. Padahal nggak delay banget kok. Tadi pas gue bilang pas itu pas dinembak.
Much else is going to be found here for Gen.G. Paper Rex is going to be keeping them at an arm's length distance.
Oh, they want this kill. I mean, he's not that close to his ultimate. Credits are running very dry. I mean, absolutely dry from Karon. So Paper Rex just trying to snowball whatever they can.
Round win nih, 2-1. Gue hitung detiknya deh nih. 3, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Nah itu gue udah, itu sangat pas gue ya. Gue sebutin dengan sangat presisi. Coba gue lihat di live gue apakah akan ada delaynya.
Something on the arena. Delivering once more.
Ya gue delay dikit banget. Dikit banget. Cuman kalau buat tetep aja reaksi gue jadi kayak telat gitu. Dikit banget sih.
Haven't spotted that Nailstorm quite yet. We're fishing for it. It looks like something. He says, "I'll just heal it back up.
Yeah.
Let's get a kill, and then I'll just go ahead and use the Devour."
That sounds like a good counter to the Nanostorm.
Space on the side, not get spotted. There's the dismiss. Takes himself out to safety. Meteor finding 1, finding 2. Karon getting involved, gets another. Now suddenly it's just Mindfreak and Forsaken. Mindfreak still rotating over. The cam goes in, tries to get the dart out. I believe he actually whipped. Comes up onto the box, finding the 1 elimination. Mindfreak now put into a 1v1. Meteor swinging out, down so low. 7 HP from him. Kind of toying around with Mindfreak, who's now going to drop down off the box.
Meteor solo. Mindfreak has to know this.
I mean, he knows exactly where he is. Only took 1 bullet. The fadeaway shot finally will find him. A damn close, but Gen.G just not as reliable, able to find the
threat. Mau bultang nggak usah mandi lah ya, ngapain mandi guys? Mau bultang keringetan lagi ntar.
I was going to just be blown out of my mind if they got that thrifty once again, because this was again, very targeted execute onto the C site. And it's just a classic blood, even with the Nanostorm, like you said, just fully confident that they can overpower him. But it wasn't as easy as Paper Rex thought it would be.
Certainly not, but just given the bank, I mean, they've been fine, for this half.
Showstopper, I would love to see some other way to break this setup on C site. No one's done it successfully so far in Pacific.
And Meteor in a far forward spot. Poison Orb does give it an opportunity to maybe rotate up on top of the site itself, back away and get into a position where that lockdown could find value.
That's already both Guiding Lights gone, by the way, for Paper Rex.
Just popping them off the rip. Now going to be relying on those Leers. Showstopper does come in.
Lakia, oh my god.
Shot going off right before he gets taken down. Could be everything for them.
You just got to hope that the Empress comes in big for something.
Lockdown still held. The creep up.
Tas.
Clear out. Something swings the corner, but no, not going to come to play. Monyet now. Everything to do, and as he tries to get himself up onto the site, Munchkin nails the headshot. Last round of the half going the way of Gen.G, 7-5. Scoreline separating the teams.
And this is where the trouble is going to begin for Paper X, because sure, when you're on the attack, you can throw all those blinds alongside the guiding light, the leers, the paint shells, everything to distract him. But on defense, yeah, you can do it, but if they don't meet you where you throw that utility initially, that retake is looking nigh impossible. And it's a great idea against, the enemy Viper, try to break through that toxic screen, even with the decay, just kind of eat that disadvantage and go through it. But again, Gen.G, after a couple of rounds, surely, if that's the style that Paper X brings, they read into it and they hold back, and Paper X just won't have much to work with on the retakes.
20 more seconds to gather their thoughts as we get ready to swap sides and see how Gen.G is going to be faring on this attack now. Paper X making this look a bit more like an international Lotus rather than a Pacific one.
That's true. Keeping it on the side that it should be. Pacific's always had these weird tendencies across a lot of the maps, quite frankly.
We'll see, though, if they can maintain the dominance here on that defending side. And how they're going to be piloting this Reyna.
A big part of it, you have to imagine, is you push them out on one side, funnel him into Forsaken setups, as he's always been so good with the Cypher, especially once he gets the Odin. So Gen.G, if they can shut that down early, they should have a lot more breathing room.
There.
So far, the biggest achievement really here for Paper X has been just denying Texture from finding value.
Caution here.
Aaron as well. Both of them down there at the bottom of the scoreboard for the side of Gen.G. We'll see if that changes now that they go to the attack, but with Texture not finding nearly as much value, Paper X got to be feeling pretty cozy.
Turrets destroyed.
Okay, turret noting one. Meteor trying to break line of sight, makes it around the corner just in time. Now re-swings.
Yeah, should have caught sight of multiple as well.
He's going to continue to hold decently close here. Sheriff shot's not connecting yet. As there's the jump
Come on,
forward.
man.
Covering fire, hoping to find the elimination. Paranoia, Munchkin coming up huge. Texture in the meantime, taking out Forsaken to take on the Divide. Full rotate around from the back. Might not be finding value here for PRX. Nade goes forward. Texture finds the enemy sky. It's going to be a flawless pistol round for Gen.G.
Well, the Gen.G marketing team smiling on that one as the Gen.G Classic comes out on top over Paper X's. But it's a good call from Gen.G. They realize that Paper X is just not stopping at anything, and they just say, hold, stop, turn around, just one person watch out for the peek out from whoever is anchoring on A. We will meet them right here on Rubble. A very different look of the Rubble fight, but a Rubble fight nonetheless. And good shots from Munchkin. He's feeling that confidence once again. Back on top of the scoreboard as the IGL for Gen.G.
No force buy this time around. Paper X just gonna see if they can try to get a thrifty done naturally. Just that Sheriff here in the hands of Divide. Once again, everybody overall on that C site.
You can just tell exactly the positions they're holding on the minimap as well, just stacked on top of each other at close range. Yeah, at least get that ult orb. I like the timing of it. But that's all they'll get, quite frankly. Haven't been as successful as Gen.G on these thrifties, so not going to hold my breath too much on this one.
You say that, I'm thinking about yesterday. On Ascent. Crazy one that they were able to close out, basically just classics. Forsaken will be able to find one kill, but Locky with the Guardian, putting it to good use, finding now 3, looking for the 4th. Find free, will take him down. Any more than that would have been a big cause for concern for Gen.G, but they'll hold on to the most expensive weapons, upgrade it to some Sheriffs as well, and tie things up at 7-7.
Yeah, considering the circumstances, Paper X, you did what you could. Got a couple extra ult points. That's all you were going to get, especially coming out of that choke point over by Baby Door. But now the real question is that Odin is going to take a little bit. Wow.
Okay, Lakia.
There's something about Lakia. He just hides his power until Texture needs a break. And then he just rises to the top. Has some impressive multi-kills on a lot of these maps. Some good acrobatics as well.
Nade going forward. Entering C's coming out. It's Mind Freak. They're swinging out the door. Not yet, however, going to be able to find an opening kill. Texture going to be taken down. Locking as well. Found Heron on that swing. Able to get a connection. No HP bar on something. He'll back away. Fly doesn't have the healing. With no charges either. Something's stuck at 20.
Bot coming back. Recalling my bot.
Not quite the situation PaperX would like, where they're trying to absolutely win the round, turn things around. They don't really feel like they have a numbers advantage, so they'll stick 2 people together still. Forsaken
So
just
close.
watching B and C.
So close to tracking him through that smoke.
Last player standing.
Defy will be able to find him. Now it's all on Meteor.
Placing alarm
1v3. Alarm bot going to be set up. Spike is in hand. He wants a challenge for a kill first.
Exactly. He wants to dwindle the numbers down, and he knows, he should know something is low.
Well, push out. Okay, Device swinging in. Dead. Lear now going to be cleared out. Something. Can't just chipped away at. Now we're looking for the double push. Can't even get the one somehow. Something dodging out those bullets. Keeps himself alive. Hopes the saves around here for PaperX.
Something swings, you know, his swings have been just so good, whether it's against the Scos, whether it's against the rivals. 20 HP, and to be able to get that last kill. They're even running forward as the person who's supposed to be. Had a great dismiss amidst that chaos and rubble to keep the aggro going. And again, that's why you pick the Reyna. Now, we've seen it try time and time again, of course. As always, it gets shut down once you can't get that first kill. But in a team like PaperX, it'll work.
Look at Devi, though. Glass cannon.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no armor. Just the cash right now. The situation not looking good for them. They want to be able to have those full rifle in his hand, I suppose, instead of going for something like a bulldog. Texture wanting to grab that orb, but the camera is enough to dissuade.
Going for that no armor, just trying to get some extra damage, and I think they're really trying to feed something these kills, make sure that they can go for the trades. But that means they're banking a lot on this round to try to win out the map.
Here.
Rotation's back over towards the safe site, already begun. Meteor pushed up just outside of B, alongside this trap wire. Clears it now, so Monyet made aware. Just gonna go back and away. Mind Freak trying to swing out, but Karon finding the headshot. Shoots down the enemy Omen. Paranoia now. Not gonna be in this retake attempt. Forsaken goes sliding down, gets himself situated over a drop. Pushing forward ahead of his own trap wire, up against the side. Tries to get that transfer. Nearly had it. Karon will answer it back. Him in the lead. Paranoia now going to be sent out, connecting on Monyet as he pulls away. Something starts swinging in behind over at Baby Door, which now is going to be broken. The Lear down. Munchkin still. Sights turned over towards where the spike is at, but it doesn't even matter. Karon finds one. Texture gets the other 2. And Chen Ji tie it up at 8-8.
Gen G, I don't know if they calmed it ahead, if it's just built in to their protocols, whatever it might be. They did not all turn to shoot down the Lear. They knew exactly what each other's jobs were, and this is where this team starts to get scary. All of them have the ability to shoot back, pick up those kills on those trades. So as long as you're not all distracted by the same thing, you are usually going to win out on these fights. Very good post-plant setup from Gen G, and that'll draw the timeout, especially with that buy. PaperX doubling down on that 16th round. Now they'll have to take a bit of a breather.
For the life of me, I mean, Munchkin just right in the line, standing right outside that door, trusting in Karon to be able to get the kill.
Yeah.
Ends up working out. 8-8. So, timeout called here from PaperX. 1 apiece burned so far in the map. See more can be utilized. Alex wanting to make sure that they're not letting this slip away from them. Gen G trying to get the win here, take this all the way up to that match point.
Wonder if Gen G is going to suspect a different default setup here and maybe try to go for something like a B push, because I would have imagined that one of the things PaperX can try. Of course, I guess this one's going to be an eco, but outside of it, will be to try to really push out from one side, hold their defender spawn entry points with 2 people, and then go for the retake with something like the spy cam. We'll see if it comes to fruition in the next buy round, but for this one, just the singular outlaw. And of course, outlaw on the other side to really abuse the econ situation as well.
Find the box, Haunt not going to get the reveal there on a Forsaken. And oh, shots go flying.
Hey.
Extra low, swaps over the classic, easy to confirm the kill. Munchkin, however,
Whoa.
finding one.
Whoa.
Situated forward.
Whoa.
Trying to hold the
Yeah.
line. I mean, it's another blink and you miss it around. As Genji very swiftly dealing with what limited firepower Paper X had.
You know, Munchkin's been hitting amazing
Exorcist
shots throughout the
bang.
jump, but if you look carefully, a lot of it is again, that experience shining through, just knowing how these trades are set up, how the crossfires are set up, going for those pre-fires. That's how he's so snappy. A lot of times he's correct. That's how he gets these 17 kills so far in the 17 rounds, leading by example. Now the operator in hand for something, and the Odin. I mean, they desperately needed this. We'll see if it works.
Yet again, rushing forward, trying to get a catch. Let's get pinged by the Haunt. And ultimately, there's no one there to find. Everybody from Genji. And out on this left side of the map. As Prowler goes and checks forward. Nothing going to be spotted. Actually, just going to be leading in. Cam's still set up here from Forsaken. Oh,
they
now going to be spotted. Clear out on the dart, and Wisely does back down. It's not a default plan. It's just off to the side, and now the pin is going to be invested as well from Genji.
Wah, susah nih. Disuruh ke Geng, keren, yoi lah, keren.
Trying to hold things close, and something goes bouncing forward with that to Smith. Now Device swinging back out to find him. Showstopper in, Texture finding one, but Monyet with a nice headshot equalizes. Gives this advantage over to PRX.
Tetap sulit. Wow! Pinable!
Now going to drop lock. Bam down. Will be eliminated Paper X very nicely.
Tiba-tiba menang, anjay.
Once more at 99, just trying to stay inseparable.
I cannot imagine having to play against Paper X in any capacity. Not that that's ever going to happen in my career, but the chaos that they bring, just the way they use the Odin, and you see this with a lot of teams that use the Odin often, is that more often than not, it's not even suppression fire to keep them kind of zoned in. It's just this distraction in the audio, really muffling everything up, just trying to make sure they don't know where to look, that they can't find the other tracers, and you just don't know where else you can move. You keep them pinned in, frozen like deer in the headlights, and that's the retake for Paper X.
Reset of the blast, back to jump forward. Monyet and Texture both racing over towards Rubble. Gonna be able to find one apiece, but now Texture doubling up, finds himself another elimination, but somehow Device doesn't get that kill.
Whip, anjing.
Rhea just finds the elimination.
Iya.
I cannot believe my eyes.
Tumben dah.
Something now.
Kemarin gak ikut soalnya.
Gimana, Sa?
Di biasa.
Siapa aja?
Gua, Rifki, Pepe, Pusen.
Start of a round they had no right to win.
Capek anjing.
And that's the composition coming to play once again against Paper X. I mean, if you're going to have the Reyna, ideally you want something like the Lear that can really help you push up against that toxic screen. But without that, Monyet. Oh no, not again. That's deja vu. Just give this man his ace, man.
Happened yesterday on mine. It happens here today. Again, I mean,
Satu sama ya, Sa?
Satu sama, iya. Map pertama, Genji menang.
Map apa?
Map Ascent.
Kedua?
Kedua split.
Map apa?
Oh, split. Are kind of feeling good, able to joke with each other despite it being a very tight game, and knowing that your players
Ntar gue butang Nobarnya pindah ke stream Tova ya guys.
Ya, anjing. Jalan jam berapa lu, Sa?
Jam 6. Habis maghrib.
Looking at you as a legend for Asian FPS. And then, I mean, quite frankly, tanking your stocks quite a bit as a coach when you first started over on D+. Now saying, I'll take one more shot, be the figurehead here, be the grand leader for Genji alongside HSK, and really guide these players who are just looking for one more chance to prove themselves, and he's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And now another absolutely broken buy, a judge for something, buying down to 850. Sure, it's the Reyna, you can always kind of try to rely on that half armor, but the Outlaw is in the hands of Meteor. Don't know if something's going to account for that.
Showstopper at the ready from Monyet. They feel that they can get this into a winnable position. We very well could see that pulled out.
Jago juga Genji ya, anjing. Ngalahin DRX.
Iya, anjing.
Very cautiously. Spamming boxes, checking corners.
Laki tekstur cow anjing. Laki tekstur Karon, Meteor, Munchkin.
This is the best shot we got. Again, you gotta take your chances when you're on these broken buys, these ecos.
Tap on the door. Something on the opposite side of the box. Not going to be spotted. As Meteor, he's pushing into this one, but he's got the outlaw. Something says hello.
Now he can open the door.
Snatches up the weapon. He's going to look for it. Gets the shot. Munchkin putting him down 10 HP. Munchkin again with a nice headshot. At least trade this one back. With the door getting opened once again. PaperX reading a rotation. How far forward do they want to try to push here? Looks like Forsaken wanting to maybe get posted up top of A over at Rope to try to put this outlaw to use.
Yeah, they don't spawn anyone B main either, so he's gonna have a shot, but he's a little sneaky with it.
Forsaken, kenapa kamu nge-whip Munchkin gitu pun?
Munchkin somehow still in this fight. Paranoia in cross backside. Mind Freak getting clipped by that for now. HL sent his way. Showstopper.
Mas monyet.
Taking him down, but yeah, time is ticking. Mind Freak swinging around, but now caught off guard. Comes in from the side. Spike gets planted. The jump shot there from Divide. Good for one. Caron quickly shuts it down. 11-9.
2-5.
2 rounds away.
2-4,
Moving up 2-1 in this
2-2.
series.
Anjing kok cepetan lu. Coba refresh.
Gue di Twitch.
Gue juga.
Into that tree a bit earlier and really shut that down. But Texture's just so fast with the reaction, peeking back out right at the 5-second mark. So Munchkin have a little bit more to share just to make sure he can close out this round.
3, 2, 1. Nah, barang dah.
Smoke down. Aggressive push out of B. Just to clear the turret for now. You're back away, avoiding that aggression as Munchkin, the lone operative now. Quite a bit of space over at A. Seems like wants to see what the rest of the team can report as far as the setup here on B. The smoke as well going to be coming out of Mind Freak. Both of those now on cooldown.
You just have the double tripwires right up close to the entrance here for Forsaken. It's a bit of a gamble, especially with the Raze as a showstopper.
I spotted him. No movement here from the PRX camp. Not necessarily believing that this is going to be a stack.
Careful here.
Oh man, it was a double for the jump. I thought it was one above, one below, but you really want to take down the showstopper. Forsaken has the read that if that's going to be the execute, you know the ult's online.
Munchkin dead. Something finding him as he tries to cut across the rest of the team, and there it is. The trapwire coming through has the reveal, but the Haunt also finding Forsaken as he tries to backpedal, get himself out to safety. Rocket, it goes too deep. Kill not going to be found.
Something perang anjing sama Meteor di pintu bangsat.
Space here on the side. Lockya able to shut it down.
Forsaken lah.
Angle watch. Caron finding.
Tas ya.
Trying to go for the plant, but just baits Divide forward. Finds the kill now.
Submitting.
Heal rolling. They interrupt the plant again, passing it now over to Caron. Lockya looking to hold the corner. Swings back around, puts him low, puts him down 21. Spike planted. No leers, no dismisses, no nothing. So the Haunt goes out. Somebody revealing himself. Another smoke invested. He's trying to get the headshot, but he cannot. Caron stands tall. 12-9. Gen G now at map point.
Lockya with the mind games. Running across the screen one last time before B to make sure that something doesn't have the opportunity to disrupt the plant. Yeah, it's back-to-back rounds where it got dicey with the timer. But Gen G keep their calm. PaperX had some decent setups here. It's unfortunate that Forsaken not able to get that initial kill.
Lu nonton soalnya siapa anjing. Tas, ayolah, overtime ya. Oke, nice. Iya, iya.
2v1 kalah sih.
Yeah, you still have all your setups for Cypher on the other side.
Menang harusnya. Sisanya main break per second nih duo. Duo.
Not sure if they'd be curious enough to push all the way through this toxic screen.
Munchkin wanting to go to B. Trapwire is there. Destroys it. Just going to be a plant here into the open. Does he get the read that this is going to be approached from main?
Kalah lu nonton, Sap.
No rights to speak up.
Liga anjing.
Just way in the top B. Flush against the wall.
He's going to want to pop that most out. Yeah, try to act like he might be on the smoke as well. some extra distractions. We'll see if it works.
Smoke comes down. Here's one.
Yeah.
Poison now coming down, and they're just holding for this one. The spray. He gets him off the defuse for a moment. Mindfreak swings back out of the smoke.
Tuh nge-spray gitu dapat dua-duanya anjing. Assalamualaikum, waalaikumsalam, Alarik unggul YS.
To decide who wants to defuse it. Yeah. If there's any weapons they need to try to recover. PRX, they keep themselves in this game. 2 rounds to try to take us into overtime.
You just know it's a good match so far when we have back-to-back of these rounds where the double left just have really good teamwork. You see Forsaken sticking it and then goes for the spray first, gives the chance for Mindfreak to pop out as Munchkin is distracted trying to fire back against the Tracers. Small things like that really make the difference between a clutch and just a standard 2v1 victory. Now the Odin for Lakia really trying to bully their way and punish Paper Rex for pushing out aggressively.
Seekers at the ready here from Devi as well. Once again, I mean, they're looking to take the fight again over at A, but Genji's saying, we didn't like how that went for us. No, we're not going to try to challenge into it again.
But that's all of Rubble cleared. A main cleared. I mean, you could just leave one person holding here and you have the entire map figured out.
At least for now, especially considering the trap wire is still set up. Double push in towards B now.
Pengen main tapi banyak tugas. Berarti nggak usah main.
Nggak usah nugas.
Nggak usah nugas.
Before the 1 minute mark, they're going to reclaim some control. They heard the footsteps, it sounds like. Munchkin making that call immediately. Now they know
to check. Double push out, turn for the flash. Meteor. Himself safe for now. Now Manya going to be taken down. Tuck into the corner. Meteor trying to survive, but cannot. Ends up falling. That's that potential lockdown now taken away from them. But if they still do have that pit.
Keteri semua bang. Bang, keteri semua bang. Bang, keteri semua bang.
Try to attack through the pit.
Everest, 25% remaining. As the spam starts coming through, trying to prevent the ground.
Wow! Yang keduanya.
Wow! What is that retake?
Oh my God!
Sebenarnya trik unggul.
Kalau Topa salah mindset itu.
Bener cowok, gak usah nugas. Lu aja joget gue. Jadi biduan.
Unggul biduan anjir.
Iya.
The dismiss end to the site to get them vision. I mean, good God!
Detik berapa, Sa? Lagi time out.
Bareng kok, bareng.
Time out now called.
Berapa?
We'll see, it is going to be from the
48, 47, 46, 45.
Very much up in the air as far as who could be. Oh, never mind. Paper X, call the second one. I didn't write it down. My bad.
I mean,
I thought they still had one.
You know, Paper X, yeah, I think they used it a little bit early on in the second half, but I mean, it's been tough from both sides. The real crazy part here is I think that had to have been off of the Seekers. Just kind of keeping track of that. Whatever it was, a one tap is just filthy from something, and it's what's gonna give them this chance for the overtime.
Capek gue tadi anjing nemenin rumah gue ngentot.
They didn't have that
Atin adik gue ini futsal turnamen.
Anjing.
The lurk nice and early.
Lu jadi coach stop.
So I wonder if Geng just go for a rush this time around. You have the Nightfall as well, just push through, then put up the lockdown on the post plant. It's an option.
Gue main telepati dulu sama pemain Peplex. Biar rame.
One that, you know, if you dump these many key ultimates into a round and end up going into overtime, could be a little bit tilty.
I'll find you.
Launch out for now, up over the top, and check towards mounds. Nothing going to be spotted. Forsaken again, just playing the side solo with that Odin in hand. We're checking the B box, lockdown now.
You should run.
Shove them back, but I mean, you see something. Mindfreak, they're actually inching their way forward. Munchkin, not going to be caught by it. Ends up finding the kill. Lockdown now, getting ready to roll through. 1 more second remaining. They managed to back out. No one's going to be detained here.
Belum nyampe tuh ya, flash.
Smoothly, they try to retake the spot, not drifting, in fact. Over towards Texture. Finally manages to clear it out, trying to hold the door. First one yet. Flush up against the wall, Devi looking to try to help his comrade push through that position. The flash goes in. It turns
nice! Satu lagi!
Monyet! Down Lakia. Now trying to survive. Karen swings in from main. the side itself, I should say. Finds himself another one. Mind freaking to buy. The
Susah
last one
ini.
standing. You know where this guy is at? Now it's all on the Solo.
Anjing, hampir.
He finds the second kill, but cannot get the third. 13 to 11, Gen G will narrowly close out their map pick of Lotus. They now move up to match point.
It's a
Sekarang
good
Genji
call
jago
after
dah
that
dulu.
timeout. In fact,
Keberapa
just
sih,
one
Cak?
step
Dulu
further,
bau
not
anjing
going
jelek.
for the rush off the
Dulu
bat,
cupu kan
but
anjing.
trying
Iya,
to
ganti
figure out
roster.
who's stationed over by Mount. Who's there? They hear the Odin, and they immediately say this is our chance to go. And what a punish from Munchkin against something. Just the hard read that you know Paper Rex is a team that will try to push out from this rather than lose the site. Because again, their composition and their playstyle just didn't cater for a retake onto that B site. It's a hard read from Munchkin, the IGL, and this time he's just one step ahead of Paper Rex.
Very nicely done here from Gen G. Match point in their pocket. Paper Rex, though, can they reply to that next map of Bind coming up? We're going to find out, but first the analyst desk will break down Lotus.
What a game. What a series. Gen G comes back on Lotus, proving themselves in this rematch on this particular map against Paper Rex.
Yeah, I mean, I really like what I'm seeing from them on their attacker side. Their defender side looked a little bit strange, and a lot of that is just like losing holding angles. Like Texture so many times with the operator was just sitting there, and then, you know, something would just swing a corner and just take him out. And I mean the player, not just like randomness. Like, it's like literally just walking corners and just smacking Texture out of the way. So that their attacker side looked good, but it's always the concern with Paper Rex. Like their defender side is always a little bit shakier than their attacker side. And Gen G is slightly better so far this year on their attacker side on Lotus than on their defender side. So it was just enough to get them over the line.
Definitely. I think the Reyna probably threw them in for a little bit of a loop. They probably prepped to redo Lotus, and the Reyna kind of threw them for a loop. So they're
A very nice retake in towards Tree, took down Lakia's Odin and everything. That just, you know, kind of brought them to that almost overtime. But by the end of it, I mean, you could still see how sharp, my goodness, these Gen G players are.
Well,
Charon.
It really felt like both teams had a good read on each other's operator positions. Like neither side was having any success with the operator. So credit where credit's due. Both teams able to, in a short amount of time, kind of identify some weaknesses in their opponents, and that's why it's really so back and forth and why neither defender side was really able to get the ball rolling. And it's quite surprising that only 6 and 9 in the post plants is Gen G, which means they're winning those scrappy duels in the Paper X like scrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just like trying to duke it out sometimes, and a lot. Gen G is coming out ahead. The post plant's something to be desired here in terms of fixing that for Gen G, but like the fact that they're able to go toe to toe with Paper Rex like this in these just intense, chaotic battles, you know, the blink and you miss it rounds, is super impressive.
I think that is going to be very indicative, actually, for the rest of the year. You know, even with kickoffs over, we still have our two splits. And Gen G, the way they are dueling against Paper Rex right now, the firepower is, I would arguably equivalent here.
It actually does feel really pretty much equivalent, if not slightly higher, actually.
Yeah, well,
Against
they're
Paper
winning.
Rex.
Today, they're winning these duels.
Really, that's the wildest thing. I remember like round 20 off of Alex's timeout. Still, somehow, even with the retake ideas coming through, some of the swings that Paper X wanted to throw at Gen G, players like Munchkin, the MVP for this series, was able to hold his own against Paper X. Like they would swing out really wide, really confidently, trying to get the duel up against them. But the reaction time coming out for some of these Gen G players, they were able to take them down. And it just feels as though, you know, Paper X needs something extra this time, and that's crazy.
It's hard to think about.
It is. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I'm already thinking of Bind, and Bind was the 4th map of Champions too, and we're like, oh yeah, Paper X wins Bind, but then you look at Gen G, and it's very much, actually in this order, it was Lotus and Bind, and yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go. You might be right with your predictions today, Paper Thin.
I did it.
Look,
all I know is no matter what happens today, I'm beating Achilleos in the predictions.
You already won.
So I've already won. This season is over. Like, I've done it. Like, I'm already, like, popping the champagne. Like, we're good to go. No. I mean, like, I just think, like, what you're seeing here from Gen G is right now they're just more of a complete package. You're still seeing Monyet really struggle on some of these maps on the Rays. I mean, 11 and 21 is really painful on a team that used to rely so much on excellent Rays play to really break open sites, to break open fights, to hit opponents in timings and flanks where they're not expecting it.
Think about that 1 HP clutch. I don't want to draw too many comparisons, but that's one of those plays that lives in your mind. You know, Geng coming up with a 1 HP clutch against EG or whatnot. But in this one, I mean, Monyet is kind of used differently. He has this different style of movement with the double blast packs, and he's kind of going in as a distraction, and then the rest of the team has to follow up. But sometimes that impact is not quite felt. There are times where Monyet is not quite able to hold a site by himself. But even if he dies, he gets information for the rest of the team to respond quickly. So when it comes down to it, drawing the comparisons now between two key players, it's Mindfreak and Munchkin, who Munchkin stepped up on this map. I mean, the Viper Spit timings, the way that he positions himself, and Mindfreak, although he definitely tries in some of these like clutch situations, it's not the most successful. It's a different map.
We haven't seen him be what we're kind of used to with Mindfreak in some ways. And he's usually a pretty good big game player. Like he's a guy who steps up multiple times. Like the casters were talking about earlier at Copenhagen, you know, he was one of those players where everybody was like, whoa, this guy's amazing. You know, he's up and down sometimes, but he's been generally pretty consistent. I think this is more of a team thing right now. I feel like the cohesion's not quite there. Like the Paper X style just doesn't seem to quite be where it used to be in terms of that speed and that tenacity. Like you see it occasionally, round to round, but overall, like teams are able to handle it, and Gen G in particular seems really good at anticipating the pressure. Munchkin's really good on First Bloods again. He's like 3 and 2 on this map, so he's still able to like kind of do his thing. The last thing I want to say is like in terms of other controllers is Karon, who was so good at like covering angles, holding flank angles, making sure that his teammates were covered. There's that one time at Baby Door where I'm just like watching Munchkin, and he's not even watching. Like he knows there's a player coming. Like there was util coming, and Karon's holding the other angle after winning a fight in tree, so he's really aware.
He knows he can trust in his teammate. That's the thing, you know. Karon is able to find so many of these impactful frags, and the feeling is just security. And I think that one of the things is that also Paper X is now, you know, they're so used to just kind of like aim dueling and really getting these confident big swings against their opponents. Very overwhelming stuff, especially with some of the chaotic utility that they throw into the game. But on a map like Lotus, especially a site like A site, for example, with the changes coming in, you know, you gotta really think about your routes. Tree is now like blocked off so much, and it's very difficult for some of these Paper X players to come in with these big swings and big plays.
Now we're going to recap a little bit what's happened so far. We are going deep into the series, and I really think we're going to see Breeze again between these two teams, which I'm very excited for. And I think you guys make a really good point. Earlier we were talking a bit about our predictions and Gen G. I've said this a couple of times. While I really believe in them as much as Paper Thin does, I thought they would have needed more time to really pull together and see, you know, their top form. But maybe it's actually Paper Rex. They have amazing creative plays. You can see them cooking constantly with their ideas, with their team comms, but maybe you guys are right. Maybe they need actually more time to adjust to this new style with Monyet in the loop, because Geng is one of a kind.
Yes.
There is no other Geng in this world.
There's no other Monyet.
And there is, but Monyet too is fantastic. So the thing is, a lot of their plays in the past was circled around Jing's particular play style. So they just need to figure it out again. But that said, they are not a pushover.
No, absolutely not. Like, if you think Paper X is out of this, you are wrong. Like, there is no way in hell that I think they're just going to go out with a whimper here on Bind. I would expect them, we have no idea what they're going to play. Like, that's the first thing that comes to my mind is, I can foresee a whole bunch of futures on this Bind map, and I don't think I'm going to be right about any of them. Like, I could see something like Your Reina here, things like that could come through for them. I don't think Gen G is going to change a damn thing. Like, there's no way. They haven't shown that they're willing to adapt. You know, we saw it on Split earlier. So certainly on this map, Gen G is going to run what they normally run. What the heck is what the heck is Paper X going to do? Nobody knows. Genji doesn't know. Like, only Coach Alex knows. Like, he's the only one.
Haven't seen it since Chaps.
You can literally do a roulette of the agents.
Just like,
and then that's like
throw out a
paper
dart
top.
for it. That's the
Like,
agent
really,
I want.
it could
Hit
be
the tail on the donkey. Just like,
yeah. It'd be 5 duelists. Honestly, and we would be like, oh, okay, cool. Paper X is doing crazy things again.
Deadlock, let's go. ISO, you were kind of
I think this is a map for ISO. I think if there's ever a time that you're going to pull ISO out, I think it's a really good opportunity. I've seen some teams do this on Bind where they really isolate like the Sky player over at the long B side, and you can really punish them with some of the Deadlock utility, particularly the ultimate, when you can just take them out of the route. And that makes it so much easier to get into that B site, get the plant down, and utilize the natural advantages you have as an attacker post-plant on B site.
Do you think ISO would need to be paired up with another duelist, though? Or do you think he's like
well,
pretty
it's
good
Paper X, so
as
they
a...
will, but...
That's very true. Now, let's talk about the first and the second map. That second map on Split was very dominant by Paper X. How do we think, like, yeah, we don't know what they're going to do with their comp now, but judging by how these first 3 maps have played out,
judging by how the first 3 maps played out, I mean, first of all, you got to talk about Ascent and how much Genji adjusted. You know, they had the really aggressive texture. Karon, of course, still doing Karon things. But then that support coming in from a player like Munchkin, for example, the flash and dash that texture pulls off is all thanks to Munchkin's support. And they really knew how to aggressively take down Paper X, you know, fighting fire with fire, although they started out on defense. And I think that was one of the things that carried them over at the edge. And then once they swapped over onto attack, you know, they started to lurk. So Genji shows a lot of flexibility. I think that's one of the biggest things because they always adapt, they always change things up, and they have these, like, anti-execute, you know, positional plays when they start out on defense. We saw a bit of that on Lotus as well. Split was just a bit different because Paper X does Paper X things. You got that triple duelist of all things. How do you adjust to that?
yeah, I actually want to talk about Bind yesterday. You were here yesterday, right?
I think so.
I've lost track.
Yeah. Was
You're
he?
casting yesterday.
Malaysia.
I was, yeah,
the
yeah.
TRX game.
Yeah,
Ada yang belum?
I remember.
Masih
Yeah,
highlight.
I mean, it was so intense because it felt like DRX kind of just had it done. Like, you know, Buzz was doing his thing on Yoru. Everything seemed to be going well. Flashback was having some good moments. Stax had a few good moments even. Everything seemed to be kind of going the normal DRX way. And then all of a sudden, like you talked about earlier, Vic, like it's that one moment, that one clutch. I think it was Karon, right? Who had that one clutch. And then all of a sudden, all the momentum was gone for DRX. All their mentality seemed to just kind of leave them. Mako started kind of visibly having a hard time at his desk, and that completely shook them. And from there, it was just, you know, Genji has shown, again, tremendous mental resilience. That's my biggest takeaway from them so far, is that
Truly
even though this is, you know what's fascinating to me is this is a team with players who have kind of a reputation of maybe being tiltable, but it hasn't shown so far this year.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Actually,
we did see, like, texture start to, like...
Well, he's,
not crying,
he is the one I'm talking about. He's a little bit tiltable.
Yeah. Well, he looked a little upset, especially when his ace was taken away from him, but not fully tilted yet. But maybe this is why their off-cam chemistry is really important, the support that they have for each other. And, you know, when you have a tiltable player like Texture, when you have a support, like a team that's supporting you like this, maybe that's the missing piece. And we were talking about Munchkin. Munchkin was absolutely crucial. What I really liked in the last map is he started using his util again.
Yay! I was calling for it. Like, sometimes, I don't know what has gotten into some of our Viper players in Pacific this year where they're just not willing to use their Viper's Pit. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on, if they're just forgetting about it, if it's just so intense, they're just kind of like getting lost in the moment or something like that. But all right, here we go. The comps. Okay, Yoru, Raze, Gecko, Fate. This is basically like
what we saw with DRX.
Yeah. Similar to what DRX does, but not quite the same. It's so
well,
like obviously the Raze.
Now.
Yeah, exactly.
True. So second duelist in the form of Monyet. Forsaken's Yoru, a little bit different from Buzz Yoru perhaps. But then again, you got to look at that double initiator. Divide on the Fade and something on the Gecko again.
This is so funny. We were just talking about the difference between the regions and how some seem to be more Sentinel heavy, and clearly here in Pacific,
We don't believe in that.
Especially Paper X. Look at them. They're just like, I don't want to use Sentinel.
I mean, they're the team that makes the most sense, really. Like, it's like they don't really play like they need one anyway, so whatever.
All right, we are going to go into our fourth map, Bind, and we know this is going to be a hot one. Let's go back to our casters, Achilleos and William.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Bind for map number 4. We'll load up and see if Paper Rex can rally back on yet another one of their map picks. Extend this, or if this is going to be Gen G walking away with a 3-1 scoreline, become champions here at kickoff.
Oh, that would be one heck of a storyline. What a bounce back for Gen G as a team and all these players individually. But my eyes for now on this Bind is onto that Paper X having just one controller. This is something that a lot of us talked about being such a weakness of the composition that Global Esports brought out at the very beginning of this tournament, saying, how are you going to play this map with a singular controller of Brimstone? Paper X says, well, we have our own ideas, this time putting in that Yoru alongside. So it really feels like triple initiator alongside the Rays. Now just, it's going to be a huge fight here for Shower's control.
Texture will find something. Does take down the enemy Rays as TP's now coming in around the back with Meteor holding in that Cybercade. Able to find one, toggles over onto the cam. Dart going through, swings back out. Divide now dropped something. The last one standing. Put some damage into Munchkins. Princess sights back over to Showers, but Munchkin just re-aggro swings. Takes him down. Gen G get the first pistol here on Bind.
And it starts to feel like the fans feel that they're close, that we're close to bringing that title back to Korea. But Paper X, they're no strangers to this. Had to play in front of a massive crowd last year against TRX at the Junction Stadium for the Pacific Finals, and they overcame it.
They reverse swept out.
Yeah. Nice! But of course, Texture feeling it too.
Kill them.
They're one step away. Now just a sheriff for Davai. Hasn't had as much of a blow-up performance as we're used to seeing from him.
Oh, on yet.
Greedy Orb.
Wanting to get this. And TP coming in to try to bail him out. Munchkin just one taps Forsaken as soon as the door is open. Good lord. Something trying to hold here for the orb. Will be able to get Lakia. Nice reply fire from him. As Mindfreak and Davai going on a bit of a push forward here. Karan hanging very well back. Spots one, takes him down, saw the other. He's gonna re-swing aggressively, but Mindfreak does punish him for that. Weapon can be recovered. Sight taken, Texture not looking to try to guard things, needs to bring the spike forward.
Yeah, and considering that only we had 3 people buying up Gen G, this could actually be a bit of trouble and a lot more damage that Paper X could do. Now, of course, that does mean Gen G can also buy up to match in the next round. But right now, Mindfreak has a good opportunity alongside something.
Launching smoke.
On the trap wire, something still making his way over. The setup, Texture looking to take those creeps away. Your Munchkin can also rotate over to try to grab that Bulldog.
Sama tinggal.
Around to something here.
Someting.
Toggle on the camera.
Oh shit.
It's a trigger there, and Meteor just swings out behind the box. Catching him in the back. Gen G, they lose 2 players. Widely, you know, some of the weapons recovered here. It's 2-0 start for them on Bind.
Yeah, great start. And a good read, too, that it could be the split just to try to take away more weapons. You know, having that Cypher utility set up across all the different ways that they could get taken out here on the region. Keeping calm, they know they're close. Don't want to overheat just yet on the 4th map. They haven't won it till the very end.
Neural Theft nearly online already. Meteor just 1 charge off of that. It's Forsaken getting darted. Staying tucked for the time being.
Yeah, and we're seeing this a lot with the teams that are experimenting with the Yoru that, again, with the Sky gone, you know, not able to just constantly cycle through utility to check B long. You have to kind of invest 2 people there alongside the flashes. Now they've been pushed back.
What? Okay, Meteor. Neural Theft now online. Makeup goes rushing forward, Forsaken swinging out, spraying, does get quite a bit of connection there.
Gila.
Quick turn on the flash, Neural Theft gonna be invested.
Tolong!
Wait to see if they can try to take him down there, able to find it in the end. Drops down on the top of Hookah on yet, so finding one, anticipating, Karen just resetting the aim there.
Whip bisa tenang ya dah.
As blast pack sent
Gue
forward.
udah nge-whip nggak bisa tenang
Will
Kak.
be able to find the elimination, but now it's all on Monya. He takes Meteor so
Kalau gue bisa
low.
sih.
Now the heals come in.
You have to save. You don't have anything to work with, and you're already going to be down 3-0. And not the start that Paper X was looking for on their pick of Bind. Haven't shown it this year. They've been known to be the leaders of the Yoru composition.
Paper X, ada apa denganmu?
For the entire world to see last year.
Just gonna say talk to Ray alongside this trap wire. Doesn't want to give them any inkling in case they come for the hunt.
Whoa,
Crazy
I
part is
am
they
sorry.
know, right? Because of the double trap wire set up, but they're not going to risk anything further either. They want to snowball the lead as much as possible. Just being wary just in case. Maybe he had another blast pack left over. Did used to, I believe, onto that site, but not taking any chances for Gen G.
Yeah, and that's a big one because, I mean, Lakia went into that with just the Ghost in hand. Carries over one of those rifles, so it's only one weapon lost for the side of Gen G.
I mean, Meteor already has 5,000 creds banked up here.
It just hasn't died.
Yeah. Activated that first neural theft already.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, just going through the comms as well. It seems like that's what they talked about during this break, just saying, don't get overly excited. Let's just win and then celebrate. And they're only 10 rounds away.
Oh, Monya looking to up the pace, trying to catch somebody off guard there with that carryover rifle. Successfully backed away, though, is Gen G. Now turning their sights once more over towards the B side. Trailblazer rushing forward, catching a glimpse of Divide before he makes his way back over in towards Elbow. The walk down, the drop into the smoke and texture. He's taking him out. Spray as well, softening up Monyet. The paint shell does come through. Will interrupt the plan for now. Shifted around now within the tube.
Spike planted.
Thrash.
Okay, the check. And Meteor not by it. Swings around. Will finally be felled, but not before finding Mind Freak. Scoreline continuing to build up for him. Forsaken trying to find something with the Sheriff in hand. Can't make it happen. It's now once again on to Monya.
Setting lagi Kak.
But given that he was the one that saved, doesn't have the money built up, he's going to have to be the one that saves again.
So far, obviously, 2 rounds with some iffy purchases on the side of Paper X, but what we're really seeing here is Gen G aware that that's going to be the setup that you often find with these Yoru defaults. It's a Yoru on B, trying to gate crash out somewhere else, maybe ready to take the TP just to throw a bit of a curveball. But oftentimes you're going to need some other support. So the Fade is there with him. They try to pressure it. They try to push it back into the site as fast as possible. Worst case comes if the TP comes through. Meteor's ready for it. He's watching for that teleport, for that showers control, so he's not giving it up for free. It's a strong default from Gen G, and quite frankly, one that Paper X, as a defending team, has to figure out the answer to.
Yeah, Meteor's so clean so far here in this map. The movement there, dodging out on the Thrash into the Cyber Cage, being able to trade one before getting taken down. Dangerous signs for Paper X, which is why we see the timeout again being forced out very early on.
Yeah, and you're not even on the attacking side right now, so you can't even just say we're going to rush one site anymore. That's not going to work.
You could rush out of one site.
You could rush out of one site. We have seen that before for Paper X, and sometimes that's what catches them off guard. But I just feel like this map right now, Gen G is ready for it. And the thing is obviously Gen G showed one iteration of their bind yesterday against DRX, who also was running a Euro composition. So Paper X, they, not much time, but they had some data to go off of. And this time Gen G's just saying, let's try to get a read on Paper X first. So let them make the first move. They're going to be antsy for it, and they would have identified that absolutely correctly.
We'll see what the call is going to be here. After Alex's intervention, Operator does come through. Being put into the hands of something now, which I don't have the updated stats right now, but coming into this map, even being down in the series and having Gen G at that point, Something's impact has been impeccable.
Yes.
Tied for top fragging alongside Charon, both of them dropping 50 kills so far in the series. They're 16 and 5 in first kills, first deaths.
Jeez.
The start of the value here, something that's been amazing, but Forsaken now trying to get it. But something pushing forward, trying to take that deep hard angle outside of B. Just gets punished.
Yeah, and he just thinks because of the hard push that they're going to be holding further back away from Fountain, but Meteor's just up close.
Tell him, Hank, this is how it feels.
Instantly
finding Aduh, bau. Extra answer, back Monya. We'll be able to finish him off. Fantastic.
Man, bring me Bosch.
By Mind Freak. Open the build.
Senggol dong.
Senggol dong. Tapi
It's
masih.
great to see Mind Freak performing as he has been the entire kickoff, because he's had some ups and downs throughout his career. Obviously, very storied alongside the rest of the Paper X squad. But when he's at his peak, he's so clean with it. And just the comparisons and the stories we're getting just from this finals alone, right? The controllers, Mind Freak and Charon, you mentioned it. Obviously, there's the fragging potential between Something and Charon. The duelist, of course, Texture, really trying to continue to be the top of the pack.
Siap-siap bultang guys.
My!
Wah, si monyet.
Reinforcement here from Monyet. Orbital strike is cutting off that access.
Monyet.
He gets isolated, take it down. Move out into the corner. Forsaken makes his way into the dimensional drift. See what he opts for here. As okay, flash out, showstopper sent towards heaven. Mask comes off. That's the fake out. Texture falling. Eventually just gets flushed out into the open. The kill comes in. Devi as well, finding one. Forsaken with a nice tap.
Dua-duanya situ katanya.
Once again, Lockheed now the last one standing. Spot on the one. Mind Freak heading across towards Showers.
They should know that he's trapped somewhere in Lamps. He saw a little bit more info coming out from that Prowler as well.
Not going for the teleporter play here. Is Mind Freak going to be creeping all the way around over towards short?
Paper X is playing this safe, and I don't mind that, but that could be what gives Gen G this opportunity. They have all the time to explore the entire site and figure out a different exit.
Kalian lagi wangi banget anjing.
All that time for Mind Freak to just go on a walkabout. Gets himself rotated around. Hearing the jump peeking, Dizzy going out.
Udah menyala nih Bang Top G udah. Udah lah.
Nyala bangku.
Wallbang coming through.
Pas.
Very nicely.
Gila.
Mind Freak nails the shot. Paper Rex picking up 2 in a row.
Well, if it's not going to be your crazy duelists that are putting the round wins on the board, someone's got to do it, and Mind Freak's here to answer the call.
Baju ganti jangan lupa.
Barely bringing them back into this. Forsaken committing to that spray was good, and also the dimensional drift just to make sure they can't commit the plant. Then the orbital strike, and then the flash as well to try to trap some of them with that blinded vision within that Brimstone ultimate. I like the entire sequence of it, and it eventually leads to that round win that Paper X so desperately needed. Op still, of course, in the
Mind Freak yang paling gue ingat adalah Pandal Forsaken yang hijau. Pas nge-clutch lawan EG anjing.
Now Lockheed actually does swing. Getting marked by in there. Aaron just holding back to see if there's going to be another push out from Something with his op.
But that does seem to be the adjustment that they've made since that timeout. Not pushing entirely out, not full W gaming, but they will force the hand a little bit. Make sure that these default setups for Gen G can't stay the way they are. Getting the read that Gen G's playing this offense like a defense. The classic Forsaken Yoru.
Blown out, jump peek. Not going to be spotting anything here. So for now, Paper X still trying to really get a read on what Gen G's movement's going to look like. This does send Forsaken back over towards this A site. So 3-man stack there, but the operator still posted up from Something. They have to be ready for this. There's the dog to lead the way, and Texture off the back of it. Yeah, he does get shot through it. Manages to stay alive and lock it.
I know exactly.
Throw those heals out. Now another neural theft. Second one for Meteor so far here in the game. Coming down.
30 seconds
It's going to be a little bit of a bait and switch attempt here with the teleporters, but yet still hovering nearby. Shot sent on that entry. Tucks back in towards Lamps.
Monyet now stuck in Lamps. No one there to back him up just yet.
Shot flying. It's actually Monyet finding a kill. Canon going to be taken down. Picture quick on that reply as Meteor just dancing around inside of the cyber cage, and as the kills come in, the cleanup will be there. 4 members still standing. Gen G
balik-balik
answering back with a fifth round win.
That's a really well read round. A quick adjustment to Paper X. As soon as Paper X starts to pressure the initial default just a bit, Gen G just cuts all audio, doesn't invest more util, creeps up to the starting line, which this time is a little bit further behind, but it's going to be that entry point into B long. They want to suss out this operator. They get it correctly, and that's what you get when you're not using something like the Razor or the Jet. You just have no escape. And Munchkin following those Seekers, leading him to victory.
Wide peek from Texture, just looking to get swung out by hearing a decent amount of noise. Wisely decides to creep back. Just has a stinger, so at range, not going to be doing him too many favors, but Forsaken, what a shot!
Right above the Trailblazer.
Yeah, finding Texture's head, taking him down, eats a bit of damage here. spamming through the cybercade.
Forsaken ngeri anjing. Wow.
Still just trying to come up with a
Nice.
do it.
Nice, net. Let's go.
Alongside Monette with a showstopper delivery. They will shut down the attack, and Paper Rex will keep things close.
It's an excellent setup from both Forsaken and Divide. Divide, of course, is backing out, holding the cross from elbow. But it's Forsaken who not only gets the first shot, but sends that fake gate crash early on and keeps him tied up, buys all the time for the backup to come in the form of a showstopper.
Great re-entry from Monette.
Yeah, beautiful. Finally getting a little bit of that shining moment as that raise. He's really been thrown into a couple islands here by Paper Rex. He's finding his footing, and it's a push out from Paper Rex.
Mosh pit over the top, right off the rim here. As Forsaken goes rushing forward, managing to find one, but the trade back is even better for Genji, finding 2 kills.
Akhirnya Genji sakit-sakit banget anjing dah.
Cleared out the volley to try to slow, but Meteor looking forward into showers. As soon as Mind Freak realizes it, he's already dead. One player's alive.
Tahu.
Genji, Prowler scouting one, and Monette just bouncing forward. The boot bot will kill off Texture. Meteor finding 3. Again, just 2 charges away from yet another neural theft as Genji lock in 6 rounds on this attacking half.
Now, again, looking at the competition, as crazy as single controller does sound for either side of Bind, you gotta imagine that all the projectiles they can throw on and execute benefits Paper Rex a little bit more for the attacking side. But all things considered, it does feel like Paper Rex is just not used to losing out on these trades. Yeah, they push out. They lose 2 people to 1. You've already invested a Molly. You have to use a second one just to buy time. But after that, you have nothing to delay. Genji does not respect it. They just push through from both Showers and A short.
I must wait a moment.
Quick clear on the cam. Dart not found, but looks like Genji not looking to waste any time. Teleporter going to be instantly taken here. So Meteor will be watching the back line. TP actually back over towards the defender spawn. Top flash going to be sent down.
Gila
Able to
anjing.
regain his vision. He shuts it down. Buying something again. Pushing forward, but ultimately may have to just call for the save.
You know what's crazy is Texture anti-flashes away from that by looking down because it's the Euroflash bounced up on the pop flash and then flicks right back up.
You could have just stopped the sentence after saying Texture.
Yes, he is crazy. You are
Berarti
correct.
band Icebox
Sometimes a little
sama
long-winded on my commentary.
Sama Sunset.
Sama
Just
Sunset.
impressive, this guy. Again, I can't help but emphasize the point that tournament of his life. And he's always been great.
Ayo Bang Davai, menyala bangku. Bang Something, menyala bangku. Ayo, semangat.
Just making sure there's no attempts at some ninja diffusery going on here.
Berubah ini juga sih line up-nya anjing.
Damn near flawless round for
Something
Genji.
pakai
Now
Gecko.
7 rounds
Second yang
on this
jadi
attack
duelis.
side. And I agree with you in regards to Paperex's comp likely having just, better legs under them going on the
Sebelumnya
attack, but
Davai pakai ini nggak sih?
eventually
Keo.
hit a point where it feels like it's the point of no return.
Something Rena.
Yeah, and I think that's
For second
right
Harbor.
Yeah.
A little bit, a little bit left to the ground and flicks right back up. Not surprised about this timeout. You want to get these last 2 rounds. And obviously, I mean, the 7-5 scoreline, is the halfway point as close as you can get without being a 50-50. But really, more than that, as you mentioned, you need something to hold your hope on. And it can't just be, we absolutely have to win the pistol. You need a little bit more than that, especially with a risky composition like this. Just a 1 Brimstone. I mean, that gets so tricky on when and where you use those smokes, because all 3 of those sky smokes have to find value.
Chill.
Plenty to be said here from Alex. His last few seconds, getting ready to dwindle out.
Makan apa
Got
ya?
he's going to be able to have, and whether or not they can try to
Digoreng.
rescue the remainder of this
Banget
half. He
anjing.
said 7-5. Given the composition, the setup here from
Gantilah
Paper Rex,
saja lah itu dulu.
I'd say those are pretty decent odds for them.
Seblak.
They need to be able to get these last 2.
Di
Showstopper pit available on the side of Genji. Yet another dimensional drift here for Forsaken.
See what value it brings. I feel like, sure, you get some tricky kills now and then already in this match. He's done it before on Split, but outside of the kills themselves, hasn't been that easy to find amazing value for space, as Genji's been fairly prepared for it.
Crash back over. Saken joining in. Now they hear that Trailblazer coming, and that's going to be the rotation as well. Mindfreak looks to make his way over to the side.
Gila tekstur, gila.
Damage since the showstopper out at the fake, however. Now it's kind of going to be stuck within that smoke. Tries to push out, but
tekstur tadi di GE anjing.
Get down the pin, going to be invested. Thrash jumping forward.
Salah tim.
Detain onto anybody. As the Seeker rushes in.
Sekarang dia menyara abangku.
Precision jump in the corner, however, catching Lakia with util in hand, takes him down with the shorty, draws down that Phantom, finds another kill. You're now gone.
Dalam 4 masuk kalah.
Aduh.
Nice.
Wow, Munchkin with the Clad 2 and then something to answer right back as they line up through the tube. It could have been disaster. I didn't mind the idea to bait them out with the fake defuse, but lining up like that against someone like Munchkin and Charon, a risky endeavor.
I need to see that one back here. As Texture trying to find the value, hearing that Odin spamming through lab. Good covering fire from Devi. Something with those 2 kills in the back end. Whew. Bailing them out when it looked like it was going to be very painful. HyperX now up to 4.
Still have that dimensional drift as well. The Odin pressure.
Oh,
no! How does he win out against both?
Well, speaking of 4s, I believe that's the 4th year-old step for Meteor in this half.
Kalau Meteor tadi di mana? Ya di Genji dia.
Iya dah, lupa gue.
Yang usah di Genji, Meteor sama ini nggak sih? Sama Karon. Enggak deh, Meteor doang.
GG kah? GG dah kayaknya.
Genji will start off buying 8-4 on the half.
Absolutely.
Kecuali HyperX dapat pistol run, dapat inian. Jadi 6-8, terus itu dapat bonus 7-8. Nah, siapa tuh bisa. Ekspektasi. Realita.
Oh, that's a chin. He's frowning and smiling simultaneously.
Oh no, some of the PaperX fans perhaps kind of staring down.
Kurang semangat nih PaperX mainnya, biasanya ketawa-ketawa, bercanda-bercanda. Kurang happy. Pada lesu semua.
Here's the thing is that forget, trying to defend the title of Pacific Kings, Champions of Pacific, but they've been here so many times, so close to try to lead and close out a match. And they just haven't been able to do it. As soon as they face an opponent that they thought they should beat, and they were challenged, they've crumbled in the last leg of it.
Well, it all needs to begin right here. A monstrous run back ahead of them if they want to extend this into that 5th and final map of Breeze.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
For now, I mean, it's just been such a dominant showing.
Ada si Per.
12 rounds played, 5
di mana dia trap-nya? Oh, trap-nya taruh di A. Ih, taruhnya buat ngeflank anjir. Trap-nya belakang.
Has that Cypher, and what a pick against this composition and this team of PaperX. Another good example of how to just turn a crazy cracked duelist aimer into another stable role here.
See what PaperX want to do, ultimately for now. Everybody very fanned out. Cypher util set up here on the A site, but Meteor still going to be playing over towards B. Seems like they're very much expecting that PaperX are going to end up going towards the site as, okay, Lakia. Pixel out of place spotted. Mindfreak sending a warning shot. Now, forces of PaperX start gathering up, getting ready to attack the A site.
Yeah, I mean, the A site, even the spy cam and everything, set up for a retake. You see that deep tripwire. They just want to know if backside is taken or not. Munchkin will try to get some shots in.
He does.
Actually, a lot.
Oh, spawn yet up on top of the box. Still wants to try to send down.
Monyet mati nih.
Reading for Red.
Kan?
He runs out of bullets. Munchkin able to win out. Goes for the reload. That's a pretty decent advantage here for the side of Genji, considering the damage already out onto something. Texture now swinging around from behind. Mindfreak. Tucked away, backing away from that smoke for the time being. As Meteor fighting Forsaken. Swinging out to the side. Munchkin now. Coming up with another one, finishing the job that he started. Comes up with a kill. Meteor, however, getting distracted. A nice little tug of war coming through as Texture falls. Lockett, last one standing by, rushing forward, and he gets it. The half already finished, but either way, he had all the time in the world. Lockett, the last one standing.
It's such a good setup from Gen.G. Abusing the fact that Cypher, obviously global utility, sets it up in A, but not to delay. Even the toxic screen, it's not meant to delay, it's just meant to make sure that the retake is easier. I mean, they get the free gift of their early kill onto Monyet. But they had the trip set up, the spy cam set up to make sure that PaperX can't find a good post-plant position. And Munchkin feels good about that. What a read, what a call from the IGL. And a good first kill. Shoves Mind Freak out into showers, and now PaperX, they can't. They're not going for the force. They want to go for the long haul.
Caron around the corner. There's the push in. There's one. There's basically the call out with the judge.
The long-range support for the Guardian as well.
Just looking to shut them out of this one. Tucks away. The Prowler coming through. Munchkin. He'll get himself a second. Caron gets the third. A flawless anti-eco. It's Gen.G now up to double digits. 3 rounds away from becoming the kings of the kickoff.
You play enough games on stage, and even a cracked gamer like Karen's going to be using the judge as well, getting the full Valorant experience. Playing like a cracked gamer, swinging out on those wide swings, sometimes playing like a Rat King, and he'll do it all.
Bentar lagi dong.
Sabar.
Tanggal.
I mean, what do you do as PaperX?
Nih, 14.
14
Maret.
Bentar lagi ya langsung berangkat ya ini.
All of them having to be burned within those first 10 rounds.
Udah Monyet, goodbye.
2 kills now, 3 gonna be found. Some good answer back here. Something and divide, find one piece divide now, finding himself a second. But
sakit banget dah Genji.
Aimnya gila dah.
these two squads, Texture picks up a 3K with the Guardian, and Gen.G continue to strive towards the throne.
It's just as if that they have switched souls. This is how PaperX used to play. Absolute disrespect, knowing that you can win every duel. Look at just how confident Texture is. This man just does not lose this week.
It's like he's constantly playing with neural theft. He knows every single angle they're going to peek from.
I mean, this could be the start to just one heck of an insane year for Texture.
Prowler in, but Snakebite to delay. Paint shells, where those ones went. Full flash though on a Munchkin. Drop in, Lockett lurking. Outside Garden, managing to find one, something with the Guardian. However, able to get Texture, but now Meteor arrives.
Masih ada Meteor.
No HP.
Aduh.
We're gonna shut it down. 7 health remaining.
Rookie
versus the bed, and the rookie stands tall. The odds were stacked against him. Forsaken needed that one. Gen.G now at series point.
Forsaken PaperX harus kembali dengan inian lamanya.
I mean, obviously the year has just started, sure, but with the performances they've had throughout
Line up lama komposisi agentnya. Ini sih kalau kayak gini kayak aneh anjing mainnya, Cok.
I don't think we can say that this is just the kickoff thing. I think they are building towards an absolute monstrous year.
Kayak mending Forsaken tetap main Harbor, something yang duelis juga sih.
Something dari tadi nge-pick mulu anjing. Pas defense jadi OP.
One step forward, one step back. Things equalized. Forsaken gone.
Mau cocoknya jadi duelis gak sih anjing, something. Tukeran. Sama Forsaken harusnya.
Thrasher lead the charge, Texture hanging back. Trying to avoid detection.
Iya, dia X kalah sama dia ya.
Up in front of it.
X kalah anjing sama dia.
Down lower and lower. Lamps the target here as Texture tries to make his way out the safety. He barely does. Flash from Lockya. The drag across. Finds one. Munchkin swinging the corner. Finds another.
GG. Ding belum.
Fight back. Now it's just down to Monyet and something. The TP is going to be used.
Yeah.
Caron, the classic in hand. Surely not like this. He finds one.
Udah. Nyawanya tapi sama-sama inian sih.
Tapi
in the hands of Monyet.
Textul anjing sa.
Iya.
The plant comes down.
Bom nggak sih? Granat.
You're playing it patiently. But we can see Monyet
Udah nih kayak gini kayaknya guys.
swing around through the elbow. And so far Texture not getting a sense of this at all. But now he will turn his sights. He's got it done. 13-4. The players already on their feet. Texture will get the defuse as the rest start the celebrations. Gen.G, they have controlled Chaos Incarnate. They have put a leash on Anarchy. And they are the kings of the Pacific kickoff.
Every single player on this team looking for redemption, and they help lead Charon the
Kalau kita ngecek kanan dulu, jadi tengok kiri baru musuhnya nongol anjing.
This is a tournament run to go down in the history of VCT.
An unbelievable start to this
Ada pialanya nggak sih?
Ada sih ingat gua. Dulu sih ada ya.
Dulu ada, cuman ada banyak tuh. VCT Pasifiknya nih, ntar yang pas di Shanghai ada Pasifiknya lagi. Tuh. Main lagi. VCT Pasifik. Ada lagi ntar ya pas mau ke Shanghai ada VCT Pasifik lagi.
Iya, emang ada lagi.
Banyak banget ya anjing jadinya. Kalau kemarin kan satu doang tuh.
Mana satu ya? Kan login juga ada anjing yang awal.
Iya login, cuman itu maksudnya bukan yang per inian top. Bukan per Amerika, EMEA, Pasifik. Kemarin kan yang Pasifik cuma satu. Sekarang ada 3 apa 2.
Champion di mana?
Champion di Korea.
Oh iya di Korea ya. Nonton tuh ada kesa.
Cing.
Mal di ongkos anjing.
Ini udah disiapin cok winner. Iya no trophy tuh.
But I will get ready to hand it over to my co-caster William, who's getting ready to take to the stage and talk to these players about this absolutely incredible.
Paper X harus kembali ke kom lamanya. Biarkan for second tetap menjadi smoke inisiator atau sentinel. Udah. Gak usah berubah lagi jadi duelist anjay. Biarkan duelistnya something dan monyet. Oke guys ya, terima kasih buat nonton live stream gue kali ini. Gue akan siap-siap juga untuk bultang guys ya. See you guys. Congrats. Kalah anjing.